Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Hi, Jenny.
Oh, you got a three-piece on today, huh?
Yeah. You know what? Getting sick and tired of this.
What you get sick and tired of?
Do you realize what's happening to me?
What's happening?
We're going to have 4 shows before game 1 of the finals, which means 4 times I have to talk about that guy again and again and again and again.
What guy?
So why don't we just call off the finals? Let's award Toronto the trophy and him the MVP and just be done with it because I'm tired of it. This is my worst nightmare. No kidding.
First of all, you know if that were to happen, that's going to be your worst nightmare because you realize he could have been the MVP for your Spurs, and they would have had the trophy.
Okay, well, let's just get it over with.
Yeah.
It feels meant to be.
It is meant to be.
But now I have to talk about it for 4 days before it even starts.
Yeah.
Right?
This has been interesting.
I like the look, Mike
So,
Jen.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the Cowboys first.
No,
Is that
we're not
possible?
going to go there. We've
We
got
talk
a lot
about winners
to get
up
to
here.
on
Winners.
today's show. I don't think the Cowboys are in the mix. What does Batman have to do with the Lakers' dysfunction?
question.
We'll go there. And Kevin Durant is traveling to Toronto. What does that mean? But we are going to start with, well, Skip's worst nightmare. The Raptors are in their first NBA Finals in franchise history, and a huge reason why is Kawhi Leonard. He's been awesome in the playoffs, averaging about 31 points and 9 rebounds a game. Doc Rivers even gave him the ultimate compliment yesterday, saying, quote, he is the most like Jordan that we've seen. Doc talks about Kawhi's defense, his post-game moves, and his leaping ability as similar to MJ. Shannon, do you agree?
Skip. No. Heck no.
Heck no?
Crooked L no.
Really?
Skip, this is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous?
First of all, Vegas has the odds now as the Clippers are the overwhelming favorite to land Kawhi's services in free agency. Doc Rivers is the head coach of the Clippers. And I get it, Skip, but the hyperbole has got to stop. The closest thing that we've ever seen to Michael Jordan played for the Lakers. He wore 8 for half his career. He wore 24 for the last half of his career.
Yeah.
That is the closest thing. Kobe Bryant was Michael Jordan with hair. People forget just how good Kobe was on the defensive end. Do you know that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan both made 9 first-team all-defensive? You look at Kobe and what he was able to do. Kobe Bryant once averaged 43 points for an entire month. He had 5 straight games of at least 40 points. And you know he's threw that 81 points in. One had 62 points in 3 quarters.
Yep.
Skip, I get it. You know, Kawhi has the big hands, but he's not the closest thing we've seen to Mike. Kobe is. Kobe and Mike, for the better part of their career, Skip, were above the rim players. You look at, if you were to just, if there was no Mike, Kobe would have been Mike. The way he put the wristband on his elbow, Skip, the way he put the knee sleeve, the way he walked, the way when he celebrated the game winner, what did he do? The same thing Jordan did. That's what he did. And you,
The tongue?
yes,
This happens.
he's a carbon copy of Michael Jordan, not Kawhi. Kawhi is not above the rim player. Yeah, he has a nice fadeaway, but it ain't Mike or Kobe. You look at Kobe's footwork, look at Mike's footwork. You look at everything they did, everything that Mike did. If you were to take an hour and says, okay, I want an hour worth of footage of Mike, and you says, okay, I want an hour worth of footage of Kobe. Now, come on, man, for real, Kobe. You gonna steal every move this man made. You gonna do everything like this man did. Skip, I get it, Doc. You want to, Kawhi. Just want you to know, in this organization, you're first and foremost. We're gonna back our players, but come on. Nobody believes that Kawhi Leonard is the closest thing to Jordan. No, that's Kobe. Kawhi is an unbelievable player, great two-way player. 3-time first-team all-defensive, 2-time defensive player of the year, having a great playoff run. But I'm sorry, Doc, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. Kobe Bryant is the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we've ever seen, and probably will be the closest that we ever see.
So I must admit, I am shocked by your response to this. And I'm starting to read into your bitterness over there that you sound like a jilted LeBron fan.
Oh, my
who
goodness.
has finally given up on landing number 2 on one side of the tracks, like on the Lakers side of Staples, as opposed to the Clippers side. Am I right?
No.
Sounds like you're just giving up on that.
No, I'm not giving up,
Yeah.
but I'm just not going to let Doc Rivers commit blasphemy on Mike and Kobe.
I will agree it was blasphemy, and I'm actually shocked that Doc, even though he has a hidden agenda or not so hidden,
exactly.
right? It's an upfront agenda.
So in other words, he's tampering without tampering, huh?
Okay, you could argue that, but I would think that Doc, because I have so much respect for him, would at least pay some of that respect to the Lakers legend of legends, Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
I would think he would just defer to that, and he would immediately say, look, Kobe was the closest, but this guy, blah, blah, blah.
Thank
you.
you.
Could go there, but he didn't go there. He didn't bring up Kobe at all. But the other reason I am so shocked is I have had to sit over here day after morning after day after morning hearing you gush about number 2. I guess just to rub it in on me, but you're the ultimate bandwagon jumper. You jump on, you jump off.
No.
And you have been driving number 2's bandwagon right over the top of me morning after morning.
Skip, just because I don't believe he's Jordan doesn't mean he's not great.
But you have called him the best two-way player in basketball.
Hands down.
The MVP of the
Hands
playoffs.
down. Hands down.
The claw.
Yeah.
Shown up.
Yeah.
And I think it was shown up was all for show enough, right?
Oh, no.
I think it was all
no.
for show because I think you're now showing your true colors, and they are not Toronto's black, red, and silver. That's a weird color combination, but that's what they are. They're
they're the
black,
Raptors.
red,
I mean,
and
come on.
silver. You are not really those colors.
Yeah, no, I'm Skip.
Right?
See I see what you're trying to do.
No, I'm seeing what you're trying to do.
Skip. All I'm saying is that Doc, I believe, was using hyperbole.
Okay.
I do not believe Kawhi is the closest thing to Jordan. Do I believe he's the best player in the playoffs right now? Absolutely. Is he the best two-way player in basketball? Yes, absolutely. But remember, two things can be true.
Oh, okay.
He cannot be the closest thing to Michael Jordan while still being the best two-way player in the game and the best player currently playing. And you upset.
I'm upset because the guy who hit the luckiest shot in the history of the playoffs is also the luckiest player in the history
How's
of the
he
playoffs.
lucky?
Because he fell into this vacuum where he's the new it player because there's no LeBron, he's on his couch, and he's obviously no longer in the East, and then there was no really Embiid, and then Giannis failed all of us because he became an exposed disappointment, and all of a sudden this guy fell into the magic moment.
Why do you
It's
keep
his
saying
time.
Giannis was exposed?
You don't think he was?
I mean,
It was awful.
Well, Jen, if he was exposed, who pulled his clothes off?
Well, I don't know.
Claw!
I think the whole Toronto
No,
defense
stop
did.
doing it. See,
Well,
there you go trying to minimize
no,
him
I'm
again.
not. I'm not. Okay, so back to Doc's premise here.
Okay.
Just remember that this is amusing to me because I actually covered Michael Jordan in Chicago and got to know him in his last run with the Bulls. And I'm pretty sure that very few people on the planet, except people who work for the Spurs, watched more of number 2 when he was a Spur than I did because I watched just about every game he played for 7 years with the Spurs, except the last year I couldn't watch him a lot because he only played 9 games.
He was injured.
I don't know.
He was injured.
Whatever he was, but that's a whole nother story. So I would say I'm actually pretty qualified to gauge Jordan versus number 2.
Okay.
And remember, our man Kendrick Perkins was the first to raise this comparison.
Right.
And I told you, and I think I told Kendrick, I'm going to go this far, that just in movement, he does remind me of Mike. I'm going to give you just the movement. I'm talking about that kind of Jordan-esque, raw athletic power movement. It's close to what Jordan did. The ability to power bounce a defender off you, especially from about 15 feet, to create space with your athletic power, then to rise and hang, because he can leap, hang and shoot 2-point jumpers with big hands. Sometimes just a one-handed jumper. That is Jordan-esque. I'm going to give you that much. The defense is Jordan-esque.
Yes.
Because we're talking about huge hands, long, raw, powerful, athletic ability that can overwhelm the guy in front of you with the ball. You can just suffocate him because you're so long and strong. Okay? I'm going to give you, that is Jordan-esque. but the comparisons end there, period, end of story. And obviously, Kobe is the closest. Kobe was not Michael Jordan, but he was the closest.
He was the closest.
And to your point, he tried to become Michael. This guy's not trying to become, he's just trying to become the best number 2 that he can be, and this is all new to him.
Right.
He is a late bloomer. I'm going to remind everybody, he was the 15th overall pick, was number 2. Originally, it was a trade, obviously, with Larry Bird in Indiana. And it was shocking that R.C. Buford wanted him that high because, remember, he'd stayed for 2 years at San Diego State. You know, that's usually the telltale, well, he's not that great if he doesn't come out after the first year, right?
Correct.
Okay. And he had averaged 12 and 15 points at San Diego State. And offense was second thought for him because he was all defense.
Right.
And everybody knew he could defend, but nobody thought he was the 15th pick in the draft.
Right.
So it took the shot doctor guru of the, I told you this the other day, of the Spurs, Chip England, to teach him a shot that he did not have. And it took Greg Popovich to pull him out of his shell and to try to get him to open up and have enough faith in himself to actually go ahead and shoot that shot. Okay. Shoot the shot.
Right.
They just, for the first 2 years, just shoot it. You're okay, go ahead. It's okay, shoot it. Duncan, Ginobili, Park. You're good, kid. Just shoot. We're okay with you. If you have the shot, take the shot. Okay, this is the opposite of what we saw from Michael Jordan from the start, right? Yeah. It's a laughable comparison because he's just now coming out of his shell this first year in Toronto.
And I think Mike led the league in scoring his rookie year.
Okay, and Michael Jordan won 10 scoring titles. Yeah. Kobe won 2, but Kobe had 26 games, post and regular season both, of 50 plus. 26 times he went 50 plus.
Right.
And as you point out, he did have an 81 on there, right? And Michael had 39 games of 50 plus. This guy, number 2, had his career high this year for Toronto of 45. That's one time. And only twice has he gone over 40.
Right.
The other one was a 41 he had against LeBron's Cavaliers on a game I think you watched. It was a Saturday night. It was a national ABC game, and it went to overtime, and he did get to 41 in overtime. Right. And the Spurs it was a big night, and they won 118 to 115.
Right.
Hurt you. I don't think I don't.
Yeah,
think
we
bet.
bet.
Did we bet
bet
on the game? I think we did.
Sure you guys
so that was
did.
one of the 33 case pluses that I'm.
I haven't paid it off. You got to stop bringing it up.
I know. I agree with you. But the point was that, remember, number 2. During the year, the regular season in which he was about to win the Finals MVP, he averaged 12 points a game that year. That's 2013-14, right?
Yes.
And in the Finals, he averaged 17.8. Well, that's not exactly Jordan-esque kind of numbers, and he won the Finals MVP. So we're saying he's the closest thing to Jordan in movement, in two-point jump shooting.
But Skip, if you watch Kobe, where you think Kobe got the pump fake? He pump it, and then he rises up and shoots over the top. That's Jordan.
Okay.
On the low block, Skip, his footwork, Jordan's footwork, Kobe's footwork is so similar. And plus, Skip, they're both 6'6" shooting guards. How do you get a more comparable comparison than that?
Okay.
They played the same position. And one guy was so enamored with the other, everything that he did besides the number, he took. You remember there was a time that Kobe cut all his hair off also before he let it grow back.
I got it.
But you look at the wristband on his elbow.
I know, it's the whole thing. It's the whole package.
Yes.
So he literally tried to walk the walk.
Yes,
kind of that pigeon pose.
Yes.
Like he's trying to become Michael Jordan. Okay, we got it.
Yes.
We give you that.
Yes.
We give you Kobe. I still don't think he was MJ.
But he's the closest.
Okay, the closest.
Yes.
So, look, then let's go to intangibles, shall we? This guy, number 2, is not even in the same universe in leadership intangibles of MJ and Kobe as leader. I'm talking about take over the team leadership.
He took it over.
Yeah.
Because a team that just got swept the back-to-back years.
Now you're going back into your cheerleague. Okay.
I'm just asking you a question. No, I don't want you to minimize his impact.
Okay, he's just doing it by example because he has little to no. The great irony, what's happening right now, this is the first time we've ever heard number 2 speak. Listen, he went 7 years in San Antonio. If I had heard his audio, I wouldn't have known who he was because I never heard him speak. 7 years.
I know.
7 years?
He had nothing to say to you guys.
Huh? He had nothing to say to you guys?
Nope.
To Duncan, Ginobili,
Nope.
Parker.
No.
Come on, really?
Y'all been hating because he knew something, deep down. He's like, he was kind of like an outsider.
Okay.
Because you guys had won so many championships before he got there. And so, y'all had already clicked up.
Oh,
and
really?
Kawhi says, you know what, I'm an outsider, but I'm going to bide my time. I'm going to come here and do what I do, win this finals MVP.
He's a shy loner. And
Yeah,
I will give you that just the rub-off effect of he walked in the door with all of the intangibles he had learned by osmosis, by rub-off effect from those Hall of Famers in San Antonio, have helped in Toronto.
Yeah.
But by nature, he's not a born leader. The other two guys were all-time born leaders,
Yes.
MJ and Kobe.
Yeah, well, they're born leaders. They're more vocal. They're more outspoken. Kawhi's more reserved. He's more by example. I know another guy that's shy and reserved and stays to himself.
Oh, who is that?
You looking at him.
Huh?
Yeah, me.
You?
Yeah.
And your point is? Oh, you're saying you were a Jordan-esque
saying
leader.
Now you said nobody.
Oh, okay.
See, you there,
so,
you go.
so your
You're
point
shy?
is you're the closest thing to Jordan we've ever seen in leadership.
You see, there you go, Skip.
Maybe
Why
not.
do you? No, I said Kawhi.
Okay.
I was comparing. You said
Okay.
Kawhi is shy and
Okay.
reserved. He doesn't say a whole bunch.
Okay, but okay, I get it that by nature you're not gregarious, like you're more withdrawn, you're more to yourself by
I am.
nature.
Yes.
But when it's time, when somebody pushes your button, you can talk the way very few humans can talk.
Yeah.
And as a player, you were known for your mouth as well as your hands.
Yes.
Am I right?
But I was provoked.
Okay, that's fine. But you used your mouth to your
Yes.
advantage
Yes.
because I consider you the greatest trash talker
Yes.
who ever walked on any field or court.
Yes.
Okay, so this guy is the flip side of
He
you.
don't say anything.
He didn't say a word to anybody. I'm not sure he says a word to his teammates.
Yeah.
They all say in the huddle, he says, I'm like, I don't know. Sounds like
Because I was watching the game the other day, and he was walking off the court, and Mark Gasol was talking to him, and he was just nodding. I don't believe he said anything. He was just...
Okay.
Okay.
So, and then we get down to my favorite category, clutchness.
Oh, he
I'm
clutch.
sorry, this guy
Oh, he
is not that clutch.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he clutch.
Huh.
Did you see Game 7?
Huh.
In the history of Game 7s, there's never been a buzzer beater to end the game. In the history, that he's been playing basketball about 75
I'm
years.
glad you brought that game up because it was not Jordan-esque. He missed 23 shots in Game 7 at home in his quote-unquote house.
Mm-hmm.
He shot a shot from the corner at the buzzer that had no business of falling through the basket because
Shooter's
it
bounce.
hit short.
Shooter's bounce.
You can get a shooter's bounce maybe more from the wing the way he got in Game 6 the other night where it bounces off the backboard, it kisses and drops.
Yeah.
That's still lucky, but it's
ain't
not
stop
nearly
saying
as
that.
lucky as this one.
Well, how many times he
Okay.
gonna make those shots and you gonna keep calling him lucky?
But you're saying he's clutch. He missed 23 shots in that game. And then just quickly, let me detail. If we go back to the Philly series, Game 3, 0 field goals fourth quarter. Game 5, 3 points in the fourth quarter. We just talked about Game 7. Game 1 against Milwaukee, 0 for 3 in the fourth. Game 2, 1 for 4 in the fourth. Game 3 was the crazy game in the final 113 of regulation. You remember what happened? They go on a 5-0 run to tie it, and he goes blank. And then the first overtime, he misses the big 3 to win it, and then he misses the buzzer beater to win it.
And
he missed it, right? Then
He did that for dramatic effect.
okay, then
Like great directors, they build.
Game 5, I told you he had no field goals in the last 8 minutes. You said, well, he had free
Hold on.
throws. and
You
he
know
did
what,
this
Skip?
and-
See, I'm tired
I'm just showing
No,
you.
no, no.
I'm just
You know what
showing
you're doing. I see what you're trying to do.
Okay,
And
I'm
you
not
always-
trying to do it. I'm just showing you this is the opposite of Jordan.
Oh,
Opposite.
I get it.
Opposite.
Okay. We agree there. But
Okay.
see, what you're doing, I'm not going to let you try to minimize what this
I'm
man is.
just spitting facts.
You're not
I'm
spitting
not trying
facts.
to minimize.
No, yes, you are. You're trying to minimize because the man has been clutch. Now, I don't know what your definition of clutch is, but let me tell you what
It's very different than yours.
No, well, the NBA says clutch is anything inside the last 5 minutes.
Oh,
Go look at the last 5 minutes of them games, and you tell me whether or not he clutch.
There's a new definition of clutch.
I'm just going
Right place, right time. That's what he is. He's clutch because there's no LeBron and there's nobody.
Oh!
He's the new it guy.
Whoa, time out. You know what I've noticed? I haven't heard anybody say this is the Eastern Conference. Now, when LeBron James was dominating, it was the Eastern Conference. Now Kawhi's come on the scene, and everybody talking about, and Kawhi's been fabulous. He's been unbelievable. But don't pretend like y'all haven't seen this before.
You know what? I will give you that. It's still the least. It is. It's still the Eastern Conference. Thank you for bringing that up.
That's beside the point.
I co-sign your point.
That's besides the point.
It's really a good point.
It is a
My
great point. But he's been unbelievable.
Huh?
A game, Skip, I think
Jordan-esque?
when they start playing basketball, 1949, 1950?
I don't know.
Somewhere back there.
Way before my time.
You covered that. You covered those Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah, right,
Jordan Michael, you got his autograph.
You know why they were called the Lakers? You know why they are called the Lakers? Because it's the land of 10,000 lakes.
Yeah.
Best place in the world. I know.
And Jenny has swum in all 10,000.
All of them.
Right?
A lot of
even in the
boating.
wintertime.
You know,
right?
ice fishing.
So
skating.
I love how you try to do that, Skip.
Yeah.
You try to minimize what he missed this many shots. There have been times that Jordan has missed 20 shots in the game, hit the buzzer beater, and you talk about that's clutch.
It's Game 7.
Game 7.
Okay, Game 7.
Jordan never did that.
Okay, he kept Philly in a game
No, he
in
didn't.
which Embiid once again is he sick or is he hurt? I don't know. He's both at once. He's got two things going on.
Yeah,
right?
he had that Kawhi and flu.
Did he?
Yeah,
that's a tough one,
they
yeah.
last like 3-4
I
days.
don't think number 2 guarded him at all.
He caught it.
Yeah. Nobody had to guard number 2 because he just kept missing.
No.
Yeah.
But hold on. Well, how'd he get 45 points if he kept missing?
23 misses is a lot.
How'd he get
Missing.
39
It's a
in the
lot.
game win if he
Because
kept
he shot
missing?
so much. He shot a career high, what was it, 39
Game
times?
4, Skip. You know they were down
39
2-1.
times?
You
Wow.
can ill afford to go down 3-1. And he says, not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not in
game
my
four
house.
In Philly.
Not with my rigged rims.
That was in Philly.
I don't think that's
Oh,
possible.
that's right.
That was
That's
in
right.
Philly.
I thought you were talking in
And then in
Milwaukee.
Game 7.
Yeah.
Ooh, Skip, that was a historic performance.
Was it?
They're going to be talking about that for the very foreseeable future.
I will be talking about it forever.
Why?
One time we
'Cause
saw
I've never
him
seen
smile,
like
I
it.
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Yeah.
You saw the emotion.
They called timeout. He went to the sideline, got some of the old blue Gatorade.
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah, you saw it.
And then he stuck that Jordan tongue out, right?
I love it.
He went
go.
Mike
Yep.
with the Jordan blue tongue.
Yep.
Jordan's never had a blue tongue, though. Right?
Well, you remember when Jordan first came into the league, Skip, he used to wear his gold chain. And the league like, nah.
No,
You
no,
gotta
league said
you gotta cut that out.
Yeah.
I think the tongue thing's just a habit, though.
It
They're
is
not
like-
trying to do it.
I don't know if I saw that at Carolina. Not his freshman year, maybe
Started to
later
do
on.
it?
I got to go back and look at some footage.
Gotta look
Because I've been following him since his rookie year.
I know what I was taught playing basketball is that you do not stick your tongue out
you
or you
bite
will
it off.
bite it off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, I used to chew gum when I play. Even when I didn't wear a mouthpiece when I played football.
gum?
I chewed gum.
I think that's dangerous.
But I had to be able to talk. I mean, think about it. You got your hands down in the dirt. You just slap somebody on the butt, and then you're going to take your mouthpiece out your mouth. I wish I might.
You know,
So I
it
can just
happens.
talk. Yep.
It
Oh,
happens.
so you chewed gum instead of a mouthpiece?
Yes.
Not
I
a
don't
bad
think
idea.
that's safer, though.
Tough.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with you. Okay, we have some Lakers drama to get to today. Surprise, surprise. Should Rob Pelinka's job be on the line after telling a big lie? We'll discuss next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Well, yesterday we talked about an eye-opening ESPN article that called out the Lakers' dysfunction led by Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. One of the moments that is being talked about the most was Pelinka telling the team and special guest Dwayne Johnson about Kobe Bryant meeting the late actor Heath Ledger. Take a listen.
There was one time when Kobe, who I worked with for 18 years, was going back to play Madison Square Garden, and he had just seen The Dark Knight. Obviously, you guys saw that movie. And he's like, hey, hook me up with dinner with Heath Ledger because he got so locked into that role. I want to know how he mentally went there. And so he had dinner with Heath, and he talked about how he locks in for a role, and Kobe used some of that in his game.
So the problem with that story is that The Dark Knight was released 6 months after Ledger had passed away. And a source told ESPN that no arrangement was made for Kobe to meet him, and the dinner never happened. So this is quite uncomfortable, to be honest. Shannon, how much does this moment damage Pelinka's credibility?
Skip, there's a saying that says a single lie discovered is enough to create doubt in every truth expressed. This changes absolutely nothing for me because having talked to enough people that's been around this league, that's covered this league, it's universal regarded. Rob Pelinka is a liar. And so he can't damage his reputation any more than what it's already damaged. So in other words, basically, Skip, by hearing this story, it does cement him that now he gets a star on the Liars Walk of Fame. It's in concrete.
Yep.
So we know. Skip, why? Skip, Kobe Bryant is not a role player. Kobe Bryant is a standalone. Why would Kobe Bryant need to lie about going to hang with Heath Ledger? Does he understand who Kobe is and what Kobe represents?
Yep.
And to make it seem like Kobe's some fanboy, like, well, I want to, come on, Rob Pelinka? Don't you? And you going to sit up there at this conference. Don't you know they got footage? This is going to be able to play back. So now, since they invented the camera phone and video skip, everything is documented. You can't.
The Rock posted it,
Yes.
so it was one of his people probably taking
Yeah,
the
but
video.
Rock didn't know he told a lie because if Rock was like, hold on,
Ago.
you about to tell this lie? Don't tell that.
I think it was posted about a year ago, so
Yep.
we didn't notice it until now.
Now he gonna come out here and do the skip. At the end of the day, Rob Pelinka's an agent. Agents lie all the time. They lie to their client that says, okay, we got this deal going on. They lie to the team. They lie to teams,
Yep.
saying like, if you don't give him this, he's going over there. That's what he does. But in this situation, you don't have to lie. I mean, because at the end of the day, why do we lie? What do you have to gain from lying? Instead of saying, I was sick, just say, well, I didn't want to attend the event. But you come up with a lie. My grandma used to say this all the time, Skip. You say, boy, the truth, you'll never have to remember the truth. It's the lies you got to keep up with.
Yep.
Rob's told so many, Skip, he doesn't even really know when he's lying.
Yeah.
So this changed absolutely nothing for me. It confirms what a lot of people have told me and what I have to hearing about him, what I knew to be true all along. He's a, misspeak the truth, or he stretches the truth, or he exaggerates. That's a lie.
Yep. So the most outrageous irony to this whole story is he's lying about his meal ticket. He's lying about his reason for being in the Laker hierarchy because the only reason he's there is he was Kobe's agent for all those years.
Correct.
Right? And he's lying about that guy, his meal ticket, right?
Yes.
And that guy's going to know it's a lie. By the way, just for the record, last night I tried to rack my brain thinking, is there any way that Kobe could have seen one of the daily rushes from the shoot because he's so connected with the Hollywood people? No, it's too out of sequence for that. They said Heath Ledger had only seen one scene that had been shot, which was the opening bank robbery scene.
And
So that's the only one he'd even seen.
Skip, if I'm not mistaken, I think Steve was telling me that before he had passed before they had finished editing the entire
That is
movie.
correct. Okay.
So if they had to do some they couldn't even do any reshoots because he had already passed. So what they got is what they got.
Yes.
So if there was even a speck of truth to this, wouldn't Pelinka have already done a little media session and said, hey, just for the record, this happened because Kobe saw some raw footage or whatever,
true,
right?
true.
But he hasn't said a word about it that we know of. Has he said a word to Jeannie Buss? No. Okay, so now to the bottom line. The glaringly obvious fix right here, right now is for Jeannie Buss today to fire Rob Pelinka. Because if you're going to have any hope going into free agency, don't you have to remove that blight from the hierarchy
But
of the
Skip, he
Lakers?
told that lie years ago.
Okay.
This is not a new lie.
I know, but it just came out.
I know.
No, it came out from the ESPN story.
Well, Jeannie should be fired because she should have done her homework. How many people you think told her that he was a liar, he was a con?
Have you ever heard one good thing about Rob Pelinka?
No.
Not one. I mean, give me one.
Not one.
Except he was Kobe's agent,
Yes.
and he was on that Fab Five team at Michigan. He
Yes.
was like, I don't know what he was, the 6th or 7th man, the 8th man maybe. I don't know.
No, he was the 19th man.
The 19th man.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was, but he was on that
Right,
team.
he was on the team,
And
right.
he occasionally contributed a little bit.
Right.
So that's all he's got going that I know of.
Right.
But in his professional dealings, as a representative of the Los Angeles Lakers, have you heard one good thing about him?
No.
Not one good
No.
thing. He was not qualified for the job to begin with.
Correct.
And he has only disgraced the organization from jump.
Yeah.
Because nobody says anything but don't trust him.
Right.
Correct?
Right. Correct.
And even internally, then we had the story from, again, the ESPN article, the Amari Spellman story, because with the 25th overall pick, all the scouts and the front office people who had done all the homework on Amari Spellman, the Villanova kid, thought that's what they were going to do when it came their turn.
Right.
But they were in one room, according to the ESPN article, and Magic and Pelinka were stationed in another room, and all of a sudden they watch on TV as the Lakers, and it was attributed to Pelinka, picked not him, but Mo Wagner from Michigan.
Right.
Okay? So what, and it was a Michigan guy. That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. Ooh, that's an interesting connection. So then Pelinka told them that, Well, I had a great conversation with Josh Hart, obviously on the Lakers team, who had played with Amari Spellman at Villanova. And Josh, I'll just paraphrase it, had raised some red flags about his character or whatever. And then Josh Hart tweeted about it and indicated that wasn't the truth either. And what was his quote about? There are a lot of snakes in this industry, but I ain't one of them. Okay? I don't know exactly what that means, but it means that's not what he's indicating. He did not throw his former teammate under that bus, right? Okay? So that's an even worse story. And Jeannie Buss today has to say, look, and clearly free agency starts 6 p.m. June 30th.
June 30th, they moved it up.
Okay, we're a little more than a month away, right? Okay. So obviously, there's no way she could replace Rob Pelinka before free agency started, but I wouldn't even care about that because it's okay right now not to have him in that job because you do have Kurt Rambis as the new Magic, the president, right? The overseer.
Skip, you remember just a few weeks ago, a month ago, the question was, who could LeBron lure because of his age, because of his injury history? And you notice LeBron is an afterthought. Now we're talking about the dysfunctionality in the Lakers organization, and it has nothing to do with LeBron. You find out how that's changed.
Okay, but it better have a whole lot to do with LeBron. That's why I told you last week.
I don't know if he can overcome this, Skip.
He better step up and take over.
Skip, look, normally if you have one person, you can overcome one. But when you got layers, top, and then middle, and then another middle, and then another middle, you got 4 people you got to hurdle over.
Okay.
How?
All right. So is that not a fireable offense, what we just found out?
Skip.
Yes, it is.
It has to be.
But Skip,
yes.
It would have been a fireable offense if you had done your homework in the beginning. It should have been a non-qualifier. She didn't do her homework. That's Kobe. That's your guy? Oh, you want to have a job? Okay, sure, fine. That's it.
Well, I'm sure Kobe recommended. He had to sign off, right?
Skip, all you need to know is that Rob Pelinka was the agent of Carlos Boozer when he was playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep.
And the owner at the time was Gordon Gunn, who was blind. And Rob Pelinka, for likes of a better word, shifted him out of the deal.
He did. Correct.
That's all you need to know. Forget talking
agree.
about you had a meeting with a dead man is one thing, but you take advantage of a man in that situation.
Yep.
Told me everything I needed. Once I found that out,
Yep.
he was done to me.
Yep.
Nothing he could have said or done could have ever changed that.
Right now, Rob Pelinka's reputation is destroying the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And he has to go. If she, I know that she would have to swallow pride because she's backed him all along.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to say, that's enough. We got to cut ties and go forward.
He's doing the right thing, Skip. The rule of thumb is if it's raining and you forgot your umbrella, don't run through the rain, Skip, because you're going to get wet regardless. But there's a chance you might slip and fall and hurt yourself worse than the rain will make you wet. Rob Pelinka says, you know what? Yeah, it's a deluge, but I'm just going to walk through it. And guess what? In 2 days, 3 days, a week, it'll all blow over, and I'll be just fine. I'll be dry on the other side.
I think the next step would be to hear from Kobe, right? The only person that can really save Rob at this point is Kobe. If there was some sort of a meeting, which maybe wasn't.
It wasn't no meeting. The man was dead.
But maybe they met. Maybe they met a year before, and he kind of flubbed the truth. But something you guys didn't mention, the quote Rob said was that Kobe wanted to know how he mentally went there. So we are talking about a role that ultimately led to Heath taking his own life.
Yes.
So we are using a lie that doesn't even make sense in the context of the situation. I mean, what happened is traumatic. You don't mentally want to know how someone got to that place. It doesn't even make sense.
In hindsight, that's how it would play.
But it would have been after
I'm not
his
sure
death.
the role is exactly why he took his life, but he was known for immersing himself in roles to the point where he lost himself.
Yes.
And he couldn't get himself back out of the
that.
role.
And most of the good ones, that's what they do. They immerse themselves and they become that character.
Okay, I got it. And when you watch him tell the story, it sounds good to me. I'm like,
but that's what liars can do.
Okay.
Yeah, Skip, I have to be able to convince you.
Yep.
Because now if I just say things, you're like, that's a lie. I gotta be convincing. And he's telling the story. Oh, Kobe in the dark night, he saw this and he knew that he had to go to a dark place. Kobe wanted to, how did you get there? So I can use that to get into that dark place so I can become the Black Mamba and get us here.
That's true. Yep.
But the man had passed 6 months ago.
It's just, it's sad. It's heavy. It's
And you
sad.
just, Skip, I mean, you gonna tell that lie. You tell it, I mean, you lie on a dead man.
How do you believe him now? How do you,
Well,
honestly?
he got away with it for about a year. I
Yeah.
guess.
Somehow.
Well, if you would rob a blind man, you would definitely lie on a dead man.
There you
Who
go.
found that video? Boy, it makes it really real when you hear him lying like that.
No mercy.
Spring is finally here, and if you're looking to get back into a great workout groove, we have to tell you about the latest from Peloton, the Tread. It offers an expansive range of boot camp, running, strength, walking, and stretching classes that reimagine the at-home total body workout experience. With Peloton Tread, convenience is key. Bring the best total body instruction to you at home on your time. Peloton knows you're busy. Classes range from 10 to 60 minutes long, so you can fit in a workout on your watch. Peloton Tread also provides access to trainers there to guide you through a wide variety of workouts. Work up a sweat with world-class instructors who are running, walking, stretching, and training by your side. The motivation is real-time, and you never repeat the same workout unless you want to. The 32-inch HD touchscreen and powerful built-in soundbar make the Tread the most immersive and captivating workout experience. Don't miss a beat in a workout that feels larger than life. And with Tread, you can see your progress all in one comprehensive place. You'll be able to push yourself to new personal bests by tracking total output, distance, and heart rate. Discover the immersive and challenging total body training you can get from Peloton Tread. Peloton is offering listeners a limited time offer. Go to onepeloton.com, use the code UNDISPUTED to get $100 off accessories with the purchase of a Tread.
No mercy.
We're going to move on to Kevin Durant. He has already been ruled out for Game 1 of the finals tomorrow, but he did travel on the team's charter to Toronto yesterday, putting his status for Game 2 on Sunday in question. Steve Kerr said KD has shot on his own, but has not done any on-court work with his teammates yet. So, Shannon, what does this tell you that Durant went to Toronto?
He got your bag, Jenny. That bag weighed more than Kevin Durant. Skip, you had a bag dragging him down?
I don't notice those things like you do.
You know,
I thought he had gold in the bag the way he was leaning with it. I was like, geez.
Or
He got good style.
Was he limping on his calf?
I don't know
That's
what it
I
was.
thought. It looked like he was limping, and
Got
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
if it was
stress
for
fatigue.
effect or because he's just limping.
I didn't notice. You saw a little something?
Little teeter, a
Something?
little teeter.
I thought the bag looked heavy. He ain't got no but a pair of socks and the gym shorts in there, and he weighted him down. But anyway, Skip Bayless.
Maybe he's
Right.
got like gold bars.
Hey,
in
he
it.
got-
I don't know.
Gingerly. You're
Skip,
right,
look,
yeah.
this had become a story. This had become a distraction
Yeah.
because we reported that we don't know after they ruled him out. Okay, so you know he's not playing Thursday night. Whether or not Kevin Durant was going to make the trip to Toronto, it had started to become a story. It had started to become a distraction. It had started to become like Kevin Durant has started to splinter from his team because the questions were being asked. Well, why isn't he on the bench? Or why isn't he doing this? This was never a concern for me.
I was asking those questions
You did.
early on.
This was never a concern for me because, okay, he's out. I mean, why fly? I mean, that's a long way. I would like to think San Francisco to Toronto, Canada. That's on the East Coast. That's a long flight. That's what, 6 hours, maybe 7?
Probably 6. I don't
Okay.
think 7.
Okay, give it 6 hours. Well, you could be at home getting treatment, come back. Hey, first 2 games, I'm gonna be out. It's hard for me to believe that he's gonna play Thursday or Sunday. Come back Wednesday, game 3. Maybe that's closer to a timeline that you can get back, but you can be getting treatment with all that flying. So I believe, Skip, this was the hierarchy in Golden State probably had a conversation with him. KD, we'd like for you to travel because this thing is becoming a story in and of itself. We're not talking about the finals. We're talking about whether or not KD is going to travel. This should have been a non-story. This should have been a non-issue. But for some reason, somehow, it became an issue. And I don't believe it would have become an issue, Skip, had Kevin Durant had another year on his contract. But because Kevin Durant's a free agent, because of the uncertainty, and more people tend to think that Kevin Durant is not returning to Golden State, that the foregone conclusion he's leaving, I think this became more of a story. And Bob Myers and the ownership and Steve Kerr just say, look, just put on a positive face, take this trip with us.
just me. I don't think ownership or executives or head coach tell this man to do anything. I think
They
they're
ask.
kid gloving. They're just
they
like,
ask him, can you
whatever you
do
think,
this solid?
KD, whatever you
Do
think.
this solid.
You could be right about this. We're both mostly guessing,
Mm-hmm.
although we're educated guessing. And I'm going to guess just the opposite of you. I'm going to guess, educated guess, that Kevin Durant wants to play because he thinks he needs to play. I think this whole narrative of they're better without Kevin Durant is just eating at him.
Yeah, of course.
And what happened last week, we watched it up close and personal here with our man, Chris Broussard. KD fired back at him because what did Chris suggest? That if they win without him, it's going to taint Kevin's first 2 rings
Correct.
and his 2 finals MVPs. And remember, Chris said, I believe it was on his radio show, that the Warriors winning a title with Durant on the bench would be his worst nightmare, right? That's
Yes.
what Kevin fired back at because it got him, it stung him. Well, there are worse nightmares. I'm paraphrasing his tweet, but he's saying there are other things in life that, well, sure there are.
Yes.
But in the basketball context, this would be his worst basketball nightmare, right?
Yes.
So I believe he's about to try to force his way back onto the floor, and he's got the power to force.
So you believe he's going to be able to play game 2. So you believe that had he been ruled out for game 1 and 2, he would have stayed back home.
Correct.
But there's a possibility that he might be able to play Sunday, so he needed to go ahead and make the trip.
And I do think he's either been ostracized or sort of ostracized himself from the team because he would not sit on the bench the way DeMarcus Cousins was and help cheerlead or help or advise from the bench the way we've seen other injuries. Even LeBron would go to the games, right?
Yes.
The home game. Did he go? He didn't go to all the aways, but he went to some aways.
Yes.
But he would help when they had a sideline huddle. He'd go talk to the kids, right? Well, Kevin could have done all the above, and he chose not to. We just saw him standing up the runway at the entrance to the locker room, talking to players as they came off for halftime, right?
Let me ask you this, okay? He's making the trip. What kind of look is it if he's in the locker room during the game instead on the bench?
I don't love it. If you make this
You're gonna
trip
be
and
there.
this is game 1 of the finals, you better go sit with your guys.
That's my thing.
Right?
Because it makes no sense. If he's not, and Skip, for me, I always thought that, okay, if that calf is injured as I think it is, and Steve Kerr said it's more injured than we previously thought, he doesn't need to be doing any sudden movement. You know, all of a sudden somebody runs to the bench and he tries to get out the way, or he's standing up and down, you know, aggravating it. So for me, it never really bothered me why he wasn't traveling. I had no problem with it because I thought he was seriously injured and he could get treatment to help speed the recovery. But this situation here is going to be very interesting. I think everybody's going to want to see, okay, he made the trip, but now where is he?
I still think you can treat on the road, not quite as well as at home, but you can still ice it. You can get it massaged by your masseuse on the road.
Yeah.
And I don't have any idea how bad it is because it almost feels like Steve Kerr isn't sure how bad it is. But if Kevin announces to Steve Kerr after game 1, win, lose, or draw, if he says, I'm going to go in game 2, I think Steve Kerr has no option.
Yeah, I'm the coach of this team. You the player.
Okay, is he going to say that?
Yeah, I would.
If Kevin says, Coach, I can go, I got to go.
Skip, the dude has done nothing with the team in almost a month.
He's Kevin Durant.
I get all that.
He is as big a free agent prize as we might have ever seen. I know LeBron was big last year. I'll give you that. But
Shaq
this guy,
at 56.
okay, but this guy is in his prime, and he is certainly the premier prize of this free agent.
Yes, absolutely.
Period, right?
Yes.
He's going to dictate the dominoes.
Well, hold on. Why am I going to make concessions when you're already gone?
Well, are you sure he's already gone?
Well, you selling the house over here and you building the house over there?
I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, so you catering to players, huh?
I don't know. By the way, Kevin's been living on the San Francisco side, so I don't know if he has.
Well, they built the arena.
Yeah.
So, a lot of players.
But he's already been living on the San Francisco side to start with.
And he got a place up here. He still got a place out here, I think.
Yeah, and yet he had the one in Malibu that went up for sale a week ago, but he's got the one in Hollywood Hills, and I think he still has. Who knows
I'm thinking about
what he
buying
might wake up. Are you going to buy that one?
Thinking
the
about
Malibu?
Thinking about it.
Really?
Thinking.
Really?
That might be a little bit too far commute for me.
But it's not out of your price range. I think it was like $13 million.
Oh,
That's chump change for you. No?
I ain't gonna have no furniture. I can't eat anything. I ain't got nothing. Yeah, I ain't got no car. Hey, I gotta take Uber to and from work. I can't have no extra expenses. Oh,
well,
no.
So here's the bottom line to this discussion.
Okay.
If worst nightmare would be Steph, Clay, Draymond, and company winning without him, what if he did sort of force his way back onto the floor and into the lineup in the game, and he's going to play 30 minutes, and they lose? Is that not an even worse nightmare?
What if they win and then he returns? I don't know if they win the championship, Skip. I don't know how he returns. There's no way he can come back. If they win without him, there's no way he can resign.
Well, there's a way he could.
No, he can't.
Well, he could just.
Everybody look at you and say, you along. You know what they're gonna say? KD, you along for the ride. Because they won this thing without you, bro.
And he could say, I just won back-to-back finals.
Yeah, that was in the past. Yeah, that was in the past. No, what have you done for us lately? Because we swept Portland without you. We beat Toronto without you. We won a game and a half without you. Nah, bro, we good.
Okay. Well, knowing Kevin, he would take this as a personal insult and challenge, and he would say, okay, good luck without me next year.
Okay, well, good luck. Good what we did before you got here.
Yeah.
Good luck without us. Because we saw what you did without us.
Yeah.
You remember it was us that made you come join us. Because we pap.
Yep.
Put you over our knee.
In all my career, I've never seen anything like this scenario.
No.
Never seen anything like it. This is the best player on the planet, and his team is playing better without him.
Second best.
He's the best player on the planet.
But okay, I get
guy's
your point.
too old. He used to be.
Skip. I get your point. I'm not going to
He grew out of it.
Skip.
I'm being nice, but he grew out of it.
I'm not going to let the facts ruin your argument.
Okay, but the
go
point
ahead.
is,
You make a
he is
compelling
the best
point.
player. He's the last two Finals MVPs. That guy is hearing the narrative, hearing all the whispers around him via social media that he's no longer needed. And that guy is out of his mind to say, should I or should I not? Because he's playing a very dangerous game where it's almost like lose-lose unless he can just flip the switch back on and take over the finals and be the MVP.
Hold on.
Okay, what if he's the MVP of the finals? Would that cement the case, right?
I'm just trying to figure out how can a team look better without the best player in the world playing? How do you sell that story?
Doesn't really make sense.
Well, you have three other really good players.
No. The best player. Steph Curry is really good. No, Steph Curry is historically great.
Okay, all right. I think Klay Thompson's historically great, and obviously Draymond in little big ways is also
Draymond does what he does. Oh, so in other words, they had a great team before KD arrived.
Okay.
Huh. And who knew?
But they fell on all their faces against your team.
Exactly.
It was them losing more than your team winning.
But guess what? Your guy didn't even get a chance to fall on his face against us. We used to just punch him in his face.
Which guy?
Kevin Durant, when he had to see LeBron. Because in 22 times in which they played regular season and playoffs, LeBron was 17-5. Owned him.
But LeBron had Dwayne
Owned
Wade
him.
and Chris Bosh.
No. Even when he was in Cleveland and he didn't have them. Do him any kind of way.
That was what Kevin was 16 years old.
You did. Hold on, talk about.
Was he not?
No, he wasn't 16.
He didn't even play college basketball. He just went straight to the league. He was that good. He was the one guy they just said, you can just play. He came out as a sophomore in high school. He started playing.
But see, Skip, it was
NBA.
us that toughened him.
Oh, okay.
That's what LeBron used to do, beat him down.
Really?
Made him grow up.
Well, they had.
Ran him to help.
The Baby Thunder did make it to the finals.
He ran to the San Francisco embassy and seeked asylum.
Did he?
Because LeBron was beating him down.
That's not what.
Yeah, it was a sanctuary city over there. That's what happened, Jenny. Beat him down, made him go ask for asylum and get help.
Really?
And then come back out until he got the 73-9 Warriors on the side.
Those were the days LeBron had a closer, Kyrie Irving. He no longer has a closer, and he goes 28 and 27 with the Lakers.
He beat the brakes off Kevin Durant without Kyrie. You know that, Skip.
He did not.
Yes, he did. When KD was in OKC.
They're babies, all of them. The Baby Thunder. They were.
Oh, no, they're babies.
And they should have won game 2 to go
No,
up
they
2-0.
should.
LeBron got away with the foul on the
that, Skip.
baseline. When he did, it was outrageous.
Skip, come on.
Well, come on. And then they went home, and Dwayne Wade took over a game, Chalmers took over a game, Mike Miller took over a game. Way to go. You want to talk about hell.
So we ain't going to do nothing about that 28, 8, and 7, huh?
He got the MVP because
he got it.
It was a sympathy vote because he'd had he'd had 2 flame-out finals before that.
Skip, I can't believe you say that.
The media loves LeBron. overprotected.
So in other words, so what are we doing here, Skip? So we go pretend like LeBron wasn't great in that finals?
Well, the media does not like Kevin Durant because he doesn't like the media.
Skip, I don't got no
Am I
problem.
right?
Well, I mean, I guess theoretically I am considered the media, but I
Yeah.
got no problem with Kevin Durant. I'm gonna get me a burner account to go against his burner account.
Yeah.
He might have a problem with you, though.
He ain't got no problem. KD, you got a problem with me?
I mean,
He said no.
He said
okay,
no.
all right.
Well,
He likes to poke at everyone and just
well,
see
well,
what
he
the response
told the
is.
media that had just voted him the MVP. You guys don't know, you know what, about basketball. Really? Well, then, why did they vote for you? I don't know.
I mean, Skip. I mean, there are things that's going on, but I believe deep down he's a good guy.
The media can be on your side if you use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
They're on his side to get that $30 million contract in a year from Nike. They was on his side.
They can help you.
Well,
They're not the bad guy.
see LeBron James.
They don't do that, Skip. See, there you go. You always try to
He's
drag
found a way to
LeBron
make
in
it
your
work.
mess.
Truth.
Did
No.
Magic Johnson repair his reputation last night? We will discuss next.
No mercy.
Last night, Magic Johnson denied many of the reports from ESPN's article on the Lakers' dysfunction. Magic was called a bully by a front office employee and was accused of intimidating team employees. He called that untrue. Was asked what he would have done differently with the team. Magic said, quote, "I would have hired my own people from the beginning. The one thing I didn't get to do is hire everybody that I wanted. Rob and I got put together. I inherited Luke Walton, so I didn't get to hire my own people. Then you can judge me." Shannon, do you like everything Magic said yesterday?
Skip, he makes some very valid points. And normally when a guy comes in, the general manager comes in, what does he normally do? He normally fires the coach, hires his own coach, be it basketball, baseball. Baseball is a manager. But you want your guys, and if the higher up you are, you want your people up underneath you, and that's what you're allowed to do. But this is a conversation Magic should have had with Jeannie from the very beginning, Skip. Not 1 year after the fact. Shouldn't you have gone to Jeannie, okay, Jeannie, I want my people. I want to be able to hire my head coach. I want to be able to hire the general manager. Now, it's reported that Rob Pelinka was hired 2 weeks after Magic got the job. But there's a good chance this was already in the works because he had to put his agency aside before he could, to avoid conflicts of interest.
True.
So there's a good chance that he and Magic was basically hired simultaneously. Ask that. Skip, I can't come here and like, okay, what about vacation? I had all that worked out before I even took the job. Okay, you can get this amount of vacation. What about lunch break? Well, you're done before lunch, so you don't need a lunch break. So, Skip, these are things that wouldn't you think these are things that you ask before you take the job and not look back in hindsight? Magic is trying to dodge all the blame, that everything that's going on with the Lakers now had nothing to do with me. Magic, you can't do that. You were a part of this. And it's easy to put all the blame on Rob. Yeah, he lies. We know he lies.
Yep.
But Magic, you got to wear some of this. You got to wear this coat too, Magic. This is a double X. It'll fit you. You got to wear it. And you're trying to dodge all this, and we can't let you, Magic. I'm sorry. So when did he realize that Luke Walton was the head coach? Before or after he took the job? Rob Pelinka, even if you didn't know that Rob was already being hired, 2 weeks after you got the job, you see him there. Did you go to Gene and says, I want to fire Luke? Did you go to Gene and says, I don't want Rob? Come on, Magic. That ain't how we do business, bro. You got to own part of this, and I'm not gonna let you off the hook that easy.
I wish I could disagree with anything you said, but I can't. And I must admit publicly that this is hard on me because I still love Magic.
Yes.
Love him as a guy, loved him as a player, known him since about 1980. And it's hurting me to watch him go through this. But the more he speaks to me, the worse it gets.
Right? Worse, absolutely.
I don't want to hear 2020 hindsight excuses from the great Magic Johnson. He's above all that.
Yes.
I know what happened when he took the job, when Jeannie said, please come save our Lakers. You know what he thought? I'm Magic Johnson. It didn't matter. It was irrelevant to him who Rob Pelinka was or Luke Walton was. It was so irrelevant that Luke was the coach that the night he went to, quote unquote, recruit LeBron, because LeBron was actually recruiting him, but that night, midnight, July 1st of a year ago, he didn't even take Luke. And I told you, you said, well, he's Luke Walton, but he didn't take him Because he's Magic.
Right.
He's Magic Johnson, right?
Right.
That's all you need to close the deal that really was already closed. But again, he went alone, or at least that was what was reported. I don't know if anybody else went, but I don't think anybody went. And the coach, the head coach, definitely did not go. Why? Because he didn't need him. He didn't need any of the front office people. They were all irrelevant to him. And just one point of order, and I defended Magic yesterday to both of you when we talked about when the story first broke, about how hard, tyrannical he was on employees. It's how he played basketball.
Right.
He was hard on his teammates because at heart, in a basketball context, he's a cold-blooded killer. And yeah, he ran off a bunch of staffers. He fired a bunch of them. What did they say? Like 37% were dismissed over his tenure. Okay, I get all that because that's who he is. But the reason HR didn't come to him, the reason he wasn't called on Jeannie's carpet is, remember, what was the big point of the ESPN story? That nobody felt bold enough to go. They were also afraid of him. They're not going to go to HR because they're afraid for their job because it's Magic freaking Johnson.
You're going to find out who got him called to HR.
Okay, so you can't, that excuse doesn't work. I get it, and I'm defending him because as a boss, in all of his other business, has he not been successful?
Yes.
He's been as successful as any great American ever.
Right.
He is dominated in business in many facets, and he will continue to do so.
You know why, Skip? Because in those, he had no idea what he was doing in business. So he had to immerse himself.
Okay, that's a good point.
Basketball, like you just said, I'm Magic Johnson. Your boy had no talent. And here's a guy, Skip, a guy that made no excuses as a player for losses, seems to, that's all he does as an exec is make excuses.
It's just, look, what do I always tell you? The golden rule for me has always been, the greater the player, the worse the GM or team builder.
Yes.
Because you're so great, it
came easy to you.
It didn't. You had to work at it, but naturally you were gifted with the ability to do this at the highest level.
Well, Skip, you remember he came here last year and he said he'd be watching practice and he would be telling, man, make that pass, make the pass. And he said guys would look over there at him like, Irvin, you could do that. They can't do that. You see the things that came so natural to you.
Right.
Everybody can't do what you,
did they
but
say?
That's what made you Magic.
Okay, and he tried to coach, and it didn't work for these very reasons. Jerry West tried to coach, and it didn't work for these reasons, because he's just pulling his hair out. Why can't you do? No, you could do it because you were Jerry West.
Right.
You could shoot that shot. You were Jerry West.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, Larry Bird won Coach of the Year, but then he got to the point and said, I just can't do this.
Okay.
Man, these dudes here, man.
All right. So to Magic's credit on ESPN yesterday, he did accept the blame, the criticism for his basketball moves, which were not good.
No.
Is that fair to say? I'm trying to be nice about it.
Yes.
They were not good. He immediately traded Lou Williams. He ended up trading Zubats for Muscala. It's just horrendously bad because Zubats is going to be a pretty good player for a long time in this league. You loved him, right?
I loved him. He was great with LeBron.
Then, according to the coaching staff, they wanted to hang on to Julius Randle, try to keep him and Brook Lopez in fold. And Magic said, no, let them walk. We're going in a new direction. And then we get to the pullout quote from the ESPN story from one of the Laker assistants. I'm going to read it one more time because it makes us all laugh.
That was Luke Walton.
Was it Luke, you think?
I was just making that up.
We all had the same reaction the basketball world did. Like, what the F are we doing? Not only are we not getting shooting, but we're also getting every basket case left on the market. Basket cases, Lance, Rondo, JaVale, Beasley, right? It's just one after another. It's a little harsh to call them basket cases, but I get the point.
Right.
And plus,
Most of those guys have been on multiple teams.
Okay, and the simplest basketball strategic point was Shannon Sharpe is saying, LeBron needs shooters. Well, he's always needed. He thrives on shooters.
Yes.
I've told you, there's never been a better three-point setup passer than LeBron James looking at 6'9" over a defense and whipping a cross-court pass to a wide-open sniper for an easy three, right? That's how he thrived in Cleveland. That's how they played basketball in Cleveland, right?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you wind up with what eventually became the second worst three-point shooting team to Phoenix, the worst team in the league, last year, right? Because you went for playmakers. And again, is LeBron complicit because he did sign off, but LeBron was probably just trying to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Magic, whatever you say.
In the first year, Skip, I'm going to stay in the background. I don't want, because you know, if LeBron would have got there the first year and he even says, okay, we need this, this, and this, it gets out, LeBron is already making a decision. LeBron is already upset with the roster. LeBron is already, so, and now he stays in the background. LeBron, you need to take more of an aggressive approach. Well, damn, what do you want him to do?
Well, now it's desperate. Now he needs to. That's just me. He needs to be.
No, that's Jeannie's team. She got upset at LeBron and Rich Paul is being reported that they were trying to commandeer her team. It's her team. She need to take a more aggressive. How about this here? Jeannie Buzz, Kurt and Linda Rambus, hit the road and get these free agents.
Really?
Let's see how many meetings you get.
As my mama used to say to me, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
I want to see. No, that's your team.
You ever heard that one?
I like that.
Hold on, who team is it? She said she wanted to take back control of her team from Rich Paul trying to run my team. Like David Falk ain't run a bunch of teams in his time. Yeah, you remember him, Skip? You remember David Falk?
Do I?
Oh, he had Michael Jordan, had Lonzo Mourning, had Patrick Ewing, everybody that was somebody. But now Rich Paul...
He just had one somebody.
Stop do that.
He had one.
He had a bunch of somebody.
He had the somebody.
He was a major player.
No.
Hold on. So what is Scott Boras running in MLB? He don't run nothing, huh? Does Tom Condon run anything in football, Skip? But now Richie Paul get a few clients.
Oh, now he's Richie Paul.
Richie Paul gets a few clients. Now everybody, Rich Paul. I can't believe it.
A few clients. He's got the client.
Yeah.
He got a few.
Yeah.
He got more than one.
Really?
He got Ben Simmons.
Okay, that's not bad.
He got LeBron.
And he got LeBron.
And he got
LeBron.
He got John Wall.
And he's got LeBron.
Got Tristan. He got a front, but he got DeMar.
Oh, that's right. He's got Tristan.
I don't want to get in the man. I don't want to get the man to run down stuff like that. What all he got, but Clutch is doing big things.
And he's got Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
You know, we're doing big things over here.
Partnership?
We doing big things over here at Clutch.
It all makes sense now,
really?
Skip.
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyway, Skip, baby,
get it.
you see, you try to know. Jeannie said, "Look at, she up there. She knows it all. Linda Rambus and Kurt, they know it all. I want to see who. I want to see who they're going to get a meeting with on the free agent market, Skip.
See what they can do.
Well, that's some picture right there. Whew. That's scary.
And you see what's happening. Look at there. One guy by himself.
Yeah.
And the three people that didn't have any idea what was going on, look at that together.
Well,
They don't look very happy.
Jeannie's got that blank look, like lost look, right?
Have you seen the way the organization been run the last 2 years? That's the kind of look I got.
Okay.
Blank.
You realize that's the team LeBron plays for.
That's okay. We you know what? Sometimes, Skip, when you're that great, you can overcome that kind of adversity.
Really?
Yeah.
Especially when you're semi-retired, it's okay.
Don't do that,
Not
Skip.
as
See,
big
there
a
you
deal.
go. How the man semi-retired? Well, Kevin Durant must have
Well,
retired.
he's playing with 14-year-olds, so I feel like
Oh,
that's
that's
what you
right.
do when you're retired.
Yeah.
But other than that.
No, what you do, you keep 14 years in their place.
Do you?
Yeah, that's what you.
As if he's a threat.
Yeah, that's what you do. You want to make sure. You want to make sure he don't become a threat.
He's a threat.
What you do, Skip? You
Lord have mercy.
squash all that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
When grown folk talk, my grandfather said, boy, when grown folk talking, you don't speak.
Oh.
When grown folk shooting basketball, 14-year-olds don't run up on them.
So you just send the message.
That's what you do, Jenny.
Good.
I bet he won't call him out
Thank you
again.
for explaining it to me. Thank you for explaining it to me.
Bet he won't call him out again, Skip.
I'm looking forward to this next one. Why is America rooting for the Raptors
Yeah,
That's
in
easy.
the finals?
That's
We'll explain
easy.
next.
No mercy.
Well, the NBA Finals get underway tomorrow night in Toronto, and apparently almost all of America is rooting for the Raptors. Can you blame them? Take a look at this map that shows 47 of the 50 states rooting for Toronto based on Twitter data. The only states rooting for the Warriors are California, Nevada, and Hawaii. So, Shannon, how about that map? What does this tell you?
It's telling me what I already knew. If we saw this, Skip, with the in the Super Bowl, I think, if I'm not mistaken, only Massachusetts and Rhode Island was pulling for the Patriots.
I believe you're right.
Skip, no one roots for Goliath. Goliath kicked David's ass, beat him down. And that's what you have here. And they hate the fact they were already very good. And Kevin Durant made them such an overwhelming favorite. And I get fans walking like, I just want somebody else to win. And that's you get that, Skip. Can somebody just, how many they won? Like three of the last four. Oh yeah, it's time for somebody else to win. They don't realize that's not how athletes think, Skip. There's a reason why the government try to regulate monopolies. You see, unless you're in the monopoly, you think it's bad. And so the government, that's why it broke up Standard Oil. That's why it broke up Marbell. The government is never going to let Microsoft and Google merge. That's not going to happen. They own the market. So they look at it like, go to State, you'll run 73 games, and then you're going to get the second best player in the NBA, and now y'all just running the league. It's not even fun. At least now people think Toronto has a chance. I don't think anybody would have been, even though they're overwhelming favorites still, Skip, but it might have been minus 600 had Kevin Durant played for the Raptors for you to make some money on betting on Golden State. So that's what it is, Skip. People are just tired of the same team of winning, and so they're like, you know what? I'm tired of Golden State. Let somebody else win now.
I thought people loved Steph Curry, even outside the Bay Area. I thought
they
the
do,
world
but they don't want
loved
him to win
Steph.
anymore.
No?
He don't want enough. That's what they're saying.
He's won enough.
Yep.
Okay, so let's step back and think about this. Golden State lost the best player on the planet to injury, and they also lost the second best center in the league to injury. He's maybe coming back, DeMarcus Cousins. Kevin might or might not, we don't know, but they both have been lost. And you would think that would create a little bit of national sympathy for the old Warriors, the 73-9 Warriors, that now are handicapped without two of their best players.
And Iggy, we don't know the status of Iggy.
We don't know. He has a strained Achilles, and it could bother him. It could flare. That's true. That's a good. And he's obviously a former Finals MVP.
Correct.
Yet the world is rooting for the Toronto Raptors. All of American states except those three.
California, Nevada, and Hawaii.
Hawaii.
North.
So all those red states over there, and they're not like political red
Not red.
states. They're just red. They're
Toronto.
Toronto red states.
Yes.
But Toronto is across in Canada, right? So they're all rooting for Canada, right?
That just goes to show you, Skip. And it's North. But I'm saying we'd rather root for, because they're tired of Golden State winning, we'd rather root for Canada than somebody here.
Okay. Again, I'm going to say this one more time because it's the truth. The man who hit the luckiest shot in playoff history is also the luckiest player in playoff history because he's been blessed to fall into the perfect right place, right time in Toronto. Who knew in Toronto? Where Masai Ujiri is one of the best GMs in basketball, and he continued to beef up that team around number 2 by acquiring Marc Gasol at the trade deadline.
Correct.
Was that not a sweet move?
Very.
It helped.
Yes.
Because he's a former Defensive Player of the Year, and he's been in so many big battles on big stages. He knows how to play. He took, 2 shots the other day and 2 threes, and he made both of them?
Skip, you remember that game they played against, he hit the game winner against your San Antonio Spurs one year.
He sure did. No, he did. He knows how to do this at this level.
Yep.
He's not afraid of any of those moments.
Nope.
So all of a sudden, LeBron has gone west, which opened up the East, and all of a sudden, right on schedule, because a lot of this has to be meant to be.
Right.
In fact, Golden State's first run past LeBron in, 2015? Remember, they kept playing teams that had just lost their point guard, Drew Holiday, and then we could just go right through the list, right? Everybody kept getting hurt all the way up to Kyrie and Kevin Love. And so it felt a little bit of an asterisk about you lucked into it. Well, in this case, I don't know what happened to Joel Embiid, but I love Joel Embiid, and you were with me. He was the best player in the East through the regular season. And then all of a sudden, he has 2 viruses. I don't know how you have 2 at once, but he's got 2, and he's got bulky knees. And I kept saying, does he have the knee flu? I don't know. But he was not himself.
Correct.
And it opened another door for number 2 to step through. And then here came Giannis, and you don't agree with this, but the point was, he disappointed. He lived down to his reputation instead of living up to it, right? I thought he got exposed. He couldn't find a way through that big steel door in the middle of the lane to swoop to the hoop.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Milwaukee looked lost against number 2's team. And so here he goes. And that's why I keep telling you, it feels to me as a Spurs fan like crime pays, because he's benefiting from quitting on the Spurs, on the classiest organization in sports, to being in the catbird seat in Toronto.
Right.
How did you do that? Where did this come? It's blowing my mind, and it's becoming my worst nightmare, because He is position A. The guy who never said a word in San Antonio is now becoming the new it player in the league, right?
Yeah.
He's become a sympathetic figure, in part because I've been so hard on him and I just can't let go of it.
Yeah.
But that's not one reason. But number two is he's the new hot thing, right?
Do
Like,
no wrong.
Right. So all of a sudden the world is saying, oh, we like him now.
Yeah.
Because he looks good, he looks the part, and you don't like his cornrows, but it's pretty cool.
That's him.
It's different. It's just like, when you see him on the court, oh, that's that guy.
Right.
So he has a style about him, even though he's just now starting to speak to the media for the first time ever. He's 8 years in the league, and this is the first time I've even heard his vocal cords before.
Yeah.
Really?
It is, Skip, but, we like winning, but not too much. You know what I'm saying, Skip? I'm going to give you a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
And people are starting to like, this is too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Steph, you got Clay, you got Draymond, you won 73 games, and then you go sign KD, and you went back-to-back, and it really wasn't even close. You went 4-1, you went 4-love, and now here we go again. Let somebody else win. It's just like the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots work their tails off just as hard, if not harder than anybody they meet. But it's like, man, Tom Brady, I mean, how many more rings does he need? He already has 6. That's the way that's the mentality of a fan.
And yet I keep telling you, I'm not a Patriot fan. Obviously, I'm a Brady fan.
Right.
It's a privilege for me to watch this guy at 41 do it again.
Right.
We saw the stat the other day from Pro Football Focus that he was rated the clutchest player in football at age 41.
Right.
And he certainly clutched in the 2 playoff games leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And then I sit back and say, what an honor it is to get to watch this guy. But the world is like, we're out.
But see, that's what hardliners do. You are a devout fan.
I am.
And most of the casual, they're like, I just want to see somebody else win.
Yeah.
They don't look at it, it's a privilege to see that you get an opportunity to see somebody three-peat, do something, win 4 out of 5, something only the Russell Celtics had done.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the Shaq and Kobe Lakers didn't win 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
The Bulls didn't win 4 out of 5. So this is an opportunity, but people don't look at it like that. I just want to see someone else other than Golden State win the basketball title.
And I think a lot of those fans in all those red states are swinging a double-edged sword because they're sick and tired of Golden State, but they were already sick and tired of my Spurs.
Right.
They got sick and tired because they kept winning,
broccoli.
and they were broccoli,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I
That's
got it.
interesting, yeah.
And again, I appreciate the Spurs because they do play beautiful basketball,
Right.
but a lot of people don't want, it's not exciting enough to them. I'm saying, Ginobili's not exciting? Well, he's from Argentina, and so he didn't play that great for all those states over there.
Right.
So the point is, they're saying, aha, we're getting even with Golden State and with San Antonio because he left San Antonio, and now we get to really root for him because he's no longer a Spur.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Way to go.
What about Kevin Durant? Do you think he plays in this? How do you think the public feels about him? Forget Golden State notwithstanding. You know a lot of people. If you were to take a poll, do you think, how do you feel about Kevin Durant? Probably 55, 60% would have a negative view of him
agree,
joining.
because I got to tell you, I like Kevin, but he is hard to like on a daily basis.
Yeah,
Am I not right? Right?
Yeah.
Does he not rub you the wrong way? Like he's always upset about something.
Right.
He's always being thin-skinned about something. After a while, it just turns the public off.
Right. And as much as people like cute, cuddly Steph, to see his wife Aisha and the 3 little kids, Kevin Durant is pulling them down.
He is.
So
I would
he's
agree.
making people root against Golden State.
Yeah.
That public, perception of KD versus Kawhi is fascinating, and how quickly it has changed for Kawhi. It's like what you said, Skip. I mean, it's he can do no wrong.
I've never seen
He's
it.
Oh,
lucked
Kawhi,
into
he's a
this
good guy, good
situation
person.
that
Good
has
person,
just-
humble. He don't cause no problem. He just want to go out there and play.
It is
He
a
said, it's never
win-win.
about me. He says, anybody that knows me, know it's not about me. It's about the team.
He not only caused the biggest problem in the history of the San Antonio Spurs, he caused the only problem. They've never had a problem player in their history until that guy.
Skip, the man tried to tell you the tooth was hurt. You didn't want to give him attention, so he had to take the tooth out, which
We're not
means he
getting
had to
into
leave.
that right now,
he had to
Shannon.
extract himself. That's what they call it in dental terms, extraction.
He
Well,
had
Shannon-
a thigh
Extraction.
bruise.
Yeah,
thigh
exactly.
bruise.
Can't go into that right now. And since you brought up the fans, perception of Kevin Durant, maybe though he has played his last game, as a Warrior. That's a possibility right now. Ric Bucher is here,
we
so we're
go,
going to get
Mr.
his
Inside.
info next.
No mercy.
So we know this, Kevin Durant is out for game 1 of the finals tomorrow, but he did travel on the team's charter to Toronto yesterday. KD's future in Golden State is in question since he can become a free agent in a few weeks. And adding fuel to the fire, our friend Ric Bucher of Bleacher Report said yesterday on The Herd that KD recently put his home up for sale in the Bay Area and bought a new one in New York. Busy guy. Ric is with us now. I'm looking forward to this, Ric. What do you know? What is going on with KD right now?
Well, number one, most of the players on the team are putting their houses up for sale because of the new arena. Right. They're moving to the other side of the bay.
Wasn't Kevin already living in the San Francisco
I know
area?
he was looking at places there.
Right.
So,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, there is that question. And when you have the kind of resources that they have, the fact that you might have homes in more than one place, he's an East Coast guy, there's the possibility. I don't want to read too much into it. The timing of it is very interesting.
He's from DC,
when it comes
he's from
to
the
that.
Maryland area.
Yeah, well, but he likes New York. He spent some time there. He's a big fan of the Rucker Park. So, but all that said, his going with the team to Toronto is not an indication from everything I've seen that he is close to playing. In fact, it's the other side of it. He's so far away from playing that staying home and getting treatment is really not going to be is not a difference maker. And I would be surprised if we actually see him play in this series.
So you would lean away from him playing 1 minute in this series?
Yes, I would. Because I was there at the press conference when before the series started, and saw him walk off in shower sandals. He was still gimpy. He's done no basketball activity. And when this injury originally occurred, I was told 3 to 6 weeks. Today is 3 weeks from the day of the injury. Now, since then, the Warriors have said it was more serious than they thought. And so that leads me to believe that it's closer to 6 than to 3. Well, okay, so Game 6 is 2 weeks. I mean, the first 6 games are going to be played within a 2-week period. If he's not even practicing, the idea that he's going to get in condition and you're going to play him in a finals game just does not seem very likely.
We have gone back and forth about this. Even looking at that footage, and I don't know if he's putting on a show for us because he knows he's being videotaped, but he looks gimpy there to me, although you suggest maybe his bag is heavy.
Your bag, heavy
right?
bag, yep.
But he looks like he's teetering a little bit to one side as he walks. So to your point, that doesn't look good to me. Now we get into the psyche of Kevin Durant. He has fired back a couple of times on social media at the new runaway narrative that the Warriors are playing better without him, that he would interpret as they're better without me. And he fired back at our man Chris Broussard last week for suggesting it would be his worst nightmare in a basketball sense if, in fact, Golden State won without him. And it might sort of taint or almost disqualify the 2 previous years and his 2 finals MVPs. And he fired back at Chris like, worst nightmare? There are worse things that could happen. Obviously in life, yes. Not in basketball, though, for him. So I'm still wondering if he's trying to push to play because he needs to play, because he wants to show the world, you know how he gets about social media. He's got the thinnest skin of any superstar I have ever closely observed or known about. And it feels like he's now getting possessed with, I got to play to show everybody I'm still the man on this team. So
I've told you guys that I haven't heard from anybody who has said that he's staying in Golden State. I've consistently, every single person has said he's leaving. They've had different destinations. Brooklyn is in play. The Knicks are in play. Those are the primaries. For the first time, I've heard that because of the injury, he's wavering. And it's simply because, and the speculation is that it's because the injury is so severe that the idea of going someplace else and carrying the load next year is he's hesitating. Can I do that? That this injury may impact the beginning of next season. And it would be much easier to stay here, play another year. Take your time getting right, You don't have to come out and be ready first game of the season. This team can roll.
Well, you listen to you talk. That doesn't sound like a calf strain to me, Skip. That you're concerned.
Totally agree.
You're concerned about whether or not you can carry a load 5 months from now?
Yeah.
Maybe a calf tear, more likely an Achilles tear, but maybe not a rupture.
Yeah, this doesn't. But
No, I mean, he talked about it. Steve Kerr has indicated it's more serious than we thought. KD has said, this is the worst one that I've ever had. And just everything that I've seen and heard is, one, he's not playing in these finals, and that it is a little more serious than anybody has painted it. And so the difficulty with KD is, and I've been told this from the very beginning, you never can be 100% sure which direction he's going to go.
Okay.
But what's concerning to me, if they win this title without him,
Yeah.
how do you go back? They don't need you. Everybody knows.
See, I just had this conversation with Andre Iguodala. He really dislikes this narrative because he said, yeah, okay, so we dispatched Houston without him, and we swept the Blazers without him. I had to play against the Blazers on one leg. Why? Because we didn't have KD, because I had to play 40 minutes against Houston. The idea that they're better without KD.
No, I didn't say they're better. I said if they win this finals without KD, how does he convince someone they need him?
I don't know from the outside that he can convince anybody that, but he doesn't have to convince the team. They're the ones that are.
Yeah, they like being unbelievable. They like monopolizing the situation.
Absolutely.
Because that's what it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, you Skip. He's the best player. They would have swept Portland. Okay, granted, you say, well, Portland's not that good, yada, yada, yada. The backcourt didn't play well. You beat a team in the East. Can you imagine a team, the Lakers, winning a finals series without Magic? Or the Celtics winning without Bird? Or the Bulls winning without Jordan? Or LeBron-led team winning a finals, not a game, a series without the best player?
Fair, but I believe you have to look at the context of where we are and who they're going up against. Because we said from the beginning of the year, it was hard to imagine there was a team in the Western Conference that was capable of beating them. It was always going to be who's going to come out of the East, right?
Yes.
And then Boston falls down.
Right.
And then Milwaukee gets exposed. And now you have a Toronto Raptors team that has Kawhi Leonard, but you look at the rest of that team, what's their history in terms of playing under pressure? They've folded in the face of LeBron time after time. So I think you have to put into context, who are the Warriors beating? Are they beating a championship caliber team, or are they beating the best of the rest that simply survived?
But that narrative, Skip, who was going to beat the Warriors with KD? Now with no KD, now the race gets a lot closer. Now with KD, what KD did, he made them unbeatable in a 7-game series. They were already a great team because it took the Cavaliers 7 games with LeBron leading in every statistical category, Kyrie hitting a shot, and it still took the best team in the East 7 games. KD joins that 73-9 team as the second best player in the NBA. Now he makes them unbeatable. No KD. They're still a great team. They know what they represent. I believe they want to win this without KD to show they're more than KD.
I just don't get that sense from within the team.
Okay, but we're missing the biggest point.
What's that?
When they blew the 3-1 against LeBron,
Right.
Yeah.
they all recruited KD.
Yes.
Steph Curry publicly said, we can't do this without him. And to me, Steph disqualified himself as the man on the team.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Because I can't get over that, which is why if KD is not going to dribble one dribble in this series, that little man, Steph, he better rise and shine. He better be the MVP because this is his golden opportunity to say, okay, I can do this by, quote unquote, by myself, without him, right? Because I sought him. The Hampton Five went to Long Island. They went out to the Hamptons. to recruit him. Am I right?
Right.
And you used the story. Draymond called him in the parking lot after losing Game 7.
In a towel crying, Rick.
Okay. All right. Well,
But here's
you were there,
Yeah,
right?
But here's the thing, though, Rick. They did that assuming that LeBron and Kyrie were going to remain together. Once they broke that up, because I don't care how good Toronto is, I don't care how good Philly or the Bucks, Kyrie and LeBron will still be representing the East.
But see, you are looking at it through the context of the Warriors want to do it, and they want to do it in a way that shines the most light on them. Fair?
Yeah.
The Warriors just want to keep winning any way, anyhow. And if they look at KD and say, with him, our chances of continuing this role is greater than without him, we will take that.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm saying, no, I was looking at it from KD's standpoint.
Right.
They win without me.
Okay. But he looks at it and says, if the injury is severe enough, I'll stay one more year. We're not talking about signing for the long term.
Right.
One more year, let me recover from this. Let me make another run with this team. And then you have the open door of what do they do next year? How much of a role does he play there with Sean Livingston potentially retiring? Who knows? Andre has indicated to me that he's on the cusp, but if they win 3 in a row, I think he's going to stick around to go for 4.
Wow.
But look, they're playing close to the nub right now. The idea that they'd be where they are without KD, if they had to ride these horses all year long without KD,
you have to play.
It would be different.
they're
But
in a
that's what
different
happens.
place.
Skip, this is what happens when you play 5 championships back to back. The injuries start to happen because now you're playing into June. You're starting right back up in September, getting ready for basketball
100%.
activities.
Okay.
So this is what's going to happen.
All right, so Ric Bucher, bottom line, right here, right now,
Yes.
gut feeling, and other quick point that I brought up. I saw this in the LA Times. Kevin also put his house here in Malibu up for sale 2 weeks ago. I don't know what that means because I think he has another one in Hollywood Hills. I think he does. But whatever. All that said, next year, Game 1, he will be where?
In New York.
Which one? Not in Brooklyn or Manhattan?
I don't know yet. Honestly, I don't.
Would you bet Knicks?
This is the difficulty. The Knicks are confident that he's coming there. I've seen guys left at the altar before. I well remember talking to the Cavaliers and how confident they were right up until the last few days that LeBron was going to stay.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right.
Kyrie and KD have talked a lot about playing together. And I haven't heard anything connecting Kyrie with the Knicks. So when you start to connect the dots, it says Nets. But that is just hard. I don't know about you guys. That's just hard for me to wrap my head around. I can hear it multiple times, and I'm like, really?
Oh, man, D'Angelo Russell was just starting to play well.
Okay.
Phoenix Suns.
We're going to keep talking about free agents because this is interesting. Because the Lakers are such a mess, are they going to keep some of those guys away? I mean, it's interesting. You brought up Kyrie. Maybe we'll talk a bit about him. That's coming up next.
No mercy.
The Lakers' dysfunction was chronicled yesterday in an ESPN article. LA Times columnist Bill Plaschke then wrote that dysfunction will make it difficult for them to land a top free agent this summer. On the other hand, Ric Bucher said one of those top free agents to be Kyrie Irving will decide between the Nets and Lakers. Rick is back with us. So, what is your best guess on additions the Lakers will make this summer?
They're going to have to take somebody hostage, meaning they're going to have to trade for them. And that's and the difficulty there is you were hoping you were going to add talent without having to give any away. If you're making a deal, now you're going to have to sacrifice some of what you have in order to add talent. And as a result, how much better your team is going to be collectively is up in the air. This is how bad the situation is for the Lakers. I was told, Kobe had said to me on a couple of different occasions, I'm not involved with the Lakers. I'm not doing anything with the Lakers. Now, I was told that he was involved in talking to Kyrie and trying to convince him to come out and the reasons why he should rejoin forces with LeBron. Kobe reached out to me again today and said, I'm not in. Don't count me as part of that. That's a reflection of where this organization is. A guy who is steeped in the purple and gold does not want to be part of his former agent running the show. It's like, don't make me part of that mess right now.
Do you think that this was triggered by the Pelinka video using Kobe's
That
story?
lie he told.
Not a good look.
I think it's all of it. I think it's such a mess, Magic walking off the way that he did, the video, the suggestion that he's somehow involved and therefore knows that the chances of somebody getting here, I mean, Kobe doesn't want it to look like, hey, I am involved, I am recruiting, I am trying to get talent here.
And we got nothing.
And we're coming
Struck
up
out.
goose eggs. Yeah. Nobody wants to be part of that, and that is what it looks like right now. I wish for Lakers fans, and I wish for LeBron that the ending would be somehow different, and for the league as a whole that he would become part of the equation again. It's hard for me to imagine that a year from now we're going to be sitting here and we're not going to be talking about the same thing, which is what the playoffs look without a LeBron James.
Quick question. The quickest fix to me right here, right now, would be for Jeannie to fire Rob Pelinka. I've not heard a single good word about him since all this mess started. I don't know, have you ever heard a good thing about him? Is there anything positive
Look at
about
the
Rob
man.
Pelinka?
The man he's striking it. He trying to call back to the back part of his mind and say, have I ever heard anything good about Rob Pelinka?
Okay.
And he still hadn't answered.
So now back to the question, would Jeannie fire him? Are they too close? Would she swallow pride and just say, I got to cut ties?
At this point, no. I don't see a way in which she's going to change direction. It's going to be, we have the summer. See, we see it from the outside and we hear all this. I feel as if right now the Lakers are living in a bubble and it's an echo chamber. And they're believing, no, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We've got time. We've got money. Let's see where we go with the draft. Let's see where we go with free agency. Let's see where we go with trades. She's not going to take the bat out of Rob's hand at this point. It's going to be, you know what, there's a lot of innuendo. It's a lot of, I know Rob Pelinka. I know him personally. I mean, I'm speaking as Jeannie now. I'm going to see where this goes. Those that are close to me, I'm going to ride with them and see where this goes. And then when we get to the fall, and if it turns out as we all anticipate, which is they're left empty-handed, then she's going to have a tough decision to make.
Okay. I like your phrase, take someone hostage. It's come to that for the Los Angeles Lakers because that's the only way to acquire someone is to actually go get them and bring them to you, whether they like it or not, quote unquote.
Right.
And the obvious target would still be AD.
We had LeBron in Cleveland, and even LeBron in his prime. It was a struggle. Obviously, it's Cleveland, but it was a struggle to get free agents there because of the questions of the franchise. If LeBron left and then I'm left playing for the Cavaliers, do they know how to get it done? No. He's now facing the very same thing with the Lakers. Like, guys are going to look at, okay, LeBron, that's great. You're there and everything, but who's there that I trust that is going to build this team and we're going to have the right culture and all of that? They're not in a good place.
Okay, so scale of 0 to 100%, what percent would you give in pulling off the AD trade this now coming up in the next month or so?
I don't see it because there's a personal aspect with the Pelicans ownership. They're still holding a grudge. It's anywhere but the Lakers. Like, it's not a matter of making the best deal. It's a matter of, okay, make the best deal as long as it's not the Lakers.
But the new GM, David Griffin, is carrying on that grudge?
Well, yeah, because the owner's the same.
Okay.
Gail Benson is standing on, you can do your job, do the best that you can, but we're not talking to them.
Shannon, this whole segment has turned into awful news for you.
I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk. Go ahead, Skip. Y'all keep it going.
The whole time I've been here, and I keep wanting to like.
Leave for a second.
Sorry, Shannon.
This is terrible.
Huh.
And this is what we got. The ownership. We got Jeannie Buss. She's not going anywhere. Kurt and Linda Rambus. They're not going anywhere. Rob Pelinka's not going anywhere.
This is my greatest issue is, and I've always admired what Jeannie has done. I've respected what she's done as a woman in the business. She's, obviously the shadow of her dad, but she's built her own presence.
Yeah.
And to be on the board of governors, all of that, impressive. Jeannie can't be silent now. She can't be not quoted. I mean, the ESPN report, they reached out to her. It shouldn't even be somebody reaching out to you to get reaction. You need to be proactive. I need to know that somebody has their hand on the wheel. That's part of, among the many other things, you talk to people around the league, who are we supposed to call? Exactly. Who are we supposed to talk to? Who are we making a deal with?
Yeah.
Who has the ultimate authority there? Jeannie has the ultimate authority.
And yet, the ESPN story had an anonymous quote saying that Linda Rambus controls and manipulates Jeannie Buss.
Yeah.
That is strong.
It is. And it's insulting
Controls
to Jeannie.
and manipulates.
Well, why is she called to refute it?
To your point, I'm saying the same.
Oh, you can't say, Shannon's being manipulated by such and such. I'm going to get on the phone. You ain't going to have to reach out to me for a compliment. I'm going to call you to give you a comment.
I can attest, no one has ever controlled and manipulated Shannon Sharpe.
I'm like, this is ridiculous. Skip, see? Now, LeBron, I'm sorry, Bron, because this is not what we envisioned.
No.
When we loaded up the truck and moved from Cleveland, we like the Beverly Hills Builders. We loaded it up and came to Beverly Hills. This is not what we envisioned spending the last 3-4 years of our career.
It actually flips it around a little bit because we've always looked at LeBron and he's always had these prerequisites to doing anything. Didn't trust anybody. No. You got to have this, this, and this before I'm going to join the party. For the first time, he didn't do that. He said, I'm coming, I'm signing long term. I believe it's because he had other motivations to be here, wants his son to grow up here, wants to get on with the production company, etc. But all that said, he didn't have those prerequisites. He didn't hold their feet to the fire.
You know why?
Look what he got.
Because he had Magic Johnson. That's all he needed to know. Magic knocked on his door at midnight.
Magic gonna do it. Magic gonna get his thing right.
Because it's Magic Johnson. Come on, right? The player he should have most often been compared to, the guy that he most plays like, the guy with the other highest IQ in the history of basketball, Magic Johnson. And he is no longer employed by the Lakers.
This is what happens when you put a bunch of people in place that's unqualified for the positions that they hold. And this is what you get, Rick. This is it.
Oh.
Now.
I just feel bad for you over there, Shannon.
That's all right.
Are you sure your man might not walk in tomorrow and say, get me out of here, Jeannie?
We might.
Trade me? But then Rick did a whole piece a month or so ago about
what you're going to get back.
A lot of owners are saying, really? I don't know if we really want this guy.
You take that anyway because they don't know what they're doing over there, so she'll take anything. Yeah, go ahead, give him up. Can you trade him? Let's see. Where would LeBron look good? I'm thinking
Space Jam 2.
We might we shelving that for the time being.
At this point,
are you shelving it?
For the time being, we go and recruit.
Well, it doesn't seem like they're shooting yet. Maybe they had scheduled it for post-finals.
Well, well, considering Giannis would be great.
Yeah.
Because he flopped in the Eastern Conference Finals, he'd be great in Space Jam.
Well, now you don't need him.
We need.
Cares.
Yeah, because we need somebody to flop. So he'll be great. No acting. He don't need any.
So LeBron can't get anybody to play with him or act with him.
No.
Right?
No, we can't get anybody to come to that.
No.
That.
I love that.
I mean,
picture.
look at it. Kurt and Linda Rambus are running the Lakers.
Not very inviting. I keep saying it can only get better from here.
When?
Somehow
Where?
it doesn't feel like that's happening.
It sure doesn't feel that way to me.
I don't feel like we've hit bottom yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, can we get there quick?
Get your
Rick?
parachute.
I want to get back to those ways. Thank you for being here. Always good to have you with us. Metta World Peace is going to join the show next, and we're going to talk about
wait until you hear this
documentary. It is pretty special. That's coming up next.
No mercy.
I remember making my first sale. There was a crackhead who would always come and buy it from my family. I remember giving the crackhead the money and just running back in the house. I didn't even take the money, and my cousin was like, yo, where the money at? I'm like, yo, I didn't have time to take the money. I was scared. I was scared to be selling drugs, quite honestly. You know, I didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling. You know, it just was not for me. It was that simple. I knew right then and there I was not going to be a drug dealer.
Okay, that was a clip from the new Showtime documentary Quiet Storm, premieres Friday night. Metta World Peace. Welcome back to Undisputed.
Thanks for
Welcome.
having me.
So good to have you. You know, I watched the documentary, and it's pretty powerful. And I can imagine going into it and just retelling your story in that way. Why was it important to you, and why did you want to tell your story, make this documentary?
Well, originally I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to like revisit those times, and you know, it was kind of emotional. And Johnny Sweet said, "Let's do it. People gonna like it." I'm like, "Why do people want to hear about me? Like, I'm not even relevant. I don't need to do a doc." But we did it, you know, and I mean, they just turned it out, and I cried like 3 times during the doc. I'm like, this is way too much for me. You know, it's crazy, but it's good. Yeah.
So I also watched it start to finish last night, and the reason I finished is that I couldn't stop watching it. And I promise you, if you start, what is it, Friday night?
Yes.
It's 10 o'clock,
10 p.m.
10 Eastern on Showtime.
Showtime.
If you start, you won't be able to stop because it's a compelling story with a happy ending. And I hope you think it was a happy ending because that's how it played to me.
Yeah, it was just crazy, like, having a career like I did and not being in it mentally. And you can see it, like, wow, I really wasn't engaged in the game. And
So,
I really wish I was.
My
That's why
takeaway from the whole thing, and by the way, you grew up in Queensbridge, and it's I didn't know this, it's the largest housing project in North America. It's 6 blocks. You're 4108 10th Street, right in the middle of it. But from the start, your greatest strength was also your biggest weakness, and it was your temper. Because when you fueled your anger, you were. I remember when I was on the show Cold Pizza on ESPN in 03-04, I was making a case that you had emerged as an MVP candidate that year. That's the year you won Defensive Player of the Year. And you could be, when you chose to be, because you were very unselfish, you could be unstoppable on offense. But lockdown defender, like Kobe said, I'm not sure there's ever been a better one when you were angry with Paul Pierce, whoever it was, you would destroy people, but it also would turn around and your your fuse was so short, then we got Malice in the Palace.
Just very unprofessional, dysfunctional, you know, and then depressed, you know, so many different things. I remember when I was like 22, I would be thinking like 4 different things. I definitely had so much going on in my head, so much frustration. Was not happy.
There's a lot in that.
There was a lot in there when I was younger, you know, luckily. And but I was strong enough to identify it and then get help and get help and get help.
Well, you did. And by the way, just quick point of order, I did not know this, but your first year, you were the 15th overall pick in the first round of the draft, and you go to the Bulls in Chicago, Michael Jordan's city, and you get a job part-time at Circuit City because you didn't trust it. You were still so insecure about, can I really do this? I need a second job, right?
I mean, I definitely wanted a second, you know, I wanted the discount. I'd never felt, you know, like, I never wanted to go back. So I'm always like trying to, and I didn't want to get in trouble, so I wanted to stay active. I wanted to do some positive things because once I have time, then I get in trouble.
Yeah.
You reached out. Why was it so important for you to make amends with the guy that actually threw the beer that started the Malice in the Palace?
It was actually a Diet Coke.
So why was it so important for you to close that chapter in your life?
I mean, that was a huge part of my life where one guy, I had an incident or a problem with one guy, and it was huge. And back home, when you have a problem with someone, it usually ends like in somebody getting hurt, somebody getting shot. And I'm like, I don't want my life to be like that. I don't want to hold grudges. It was just a problem. I had a problem with one man, and it's over, fight's over, and I'm cool. Now I gotta make amends with, you know, my teammates and different things like that. But I felt like the John Green one was very important to me.
Just for those who've forgotten, it was November 19, 2004, and there's 20 seconds left in a game, and it's early in the year, and you had gone to war, quote unquote, with those guys the year before and lost in 6 games of one of the most physical playoff series probably in the history of this league. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, the score was 71-67. It was all defense.
I think it was 69-65 was the final score.
It could have been.
I believe it was.
Yeah, it could have been.
So now this is the first time you're meeting, and you go to their place, and you kick their behinds, and it's 20 seconds left, and Ben Wallace, you get into it, you fouled him, and then he starts throwing things at you. And again, I'm on your side with this because he's allowed. Ben Wallace is throwing, he's got bands all over him, and he's throwing everything on his body at you, and they're not throwing him out. They're not even giving him techs. So you did what your psychiatrist had advised, just lay down. Lay down. What's the closest place? It's the scorer's table, okay? Which probably didn't sit well with the people in the stands.
Yeah.
Scorer's
To be
table.
winning, and they thinking
Okay?
I'm
And then the guy who you apologized or you made amends with, John Green, he talked in the he was great in the documentary.
He's great.
Yeah. He said, I got a Diet Coke, and I think, well, I'm going to just throw it up in the air. And he underhanded it, and I think it was the luckiest shot
It was
this
a bet.
side of that
It was a
guy.
$50 bet.
Yeah. Oh, the guy bet with
The guy
right.
bet that I could hit you. He's like, I can do it. He's like, oh, wow. And when the guy said, oh, wow, I owe you $50, you did it. And when I seen his hand, I'm like,
So he did it.
yeah.
You thought he
I thought he hit me with the cup.
And John Green didn't even know the kid next to him, and so you go up to lay down the law to that kid, right? And you said in the documentary, I didn't want to kill him. I just wanted to kind of put my hands around him and say, you're not going to get away with that because in Queensbridge, you can't get away with that. That's neighborhood. That's not anger. That's neighborhood. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody would let that happen. You know, I feel like you just can't go around doing that. You see people getting bullied. I don't believe in people should be getting bullied. I used to be bullied when I was young at one point in time. You know, so it's like you get tired of that after a while, and then it stays with you.
I can't
if
imagine
you never addressed it.
How would anybody ever bully you?
When you're a young kid, you get
I don't
bullied.
know. Do you?
But that was your way, but you found a way. It says, I'm not going to get bullied. I'm not going to take this anymore. Yeah. And you toughened yourself up. You grew into if there's going to be some bullying going on, I'm going to be doing it.
You toughened him up was Big Ron, Dad. He took you out and he beat you up on the basketball court, right?
Yeah, he didn't let me get in trouble. I would get spankings when I did anything wrong. Took me on the court and would just it would be brutal games out there with my dad.
So he wasn't letting you win, huh?
No. He would not let me. He's built like you, man. Just hitting me and pushing me. And
wouldn't you say that was the best thing that could have happened to you? Right?
Yeah, it was weird because him and my mom always was fighting.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, he was in my life. Like, I've seen him every day. When they separated, I seen my dad every day. I can't remember my dad, I never seen my dad.
Right.
So I'm like, I have a little conflict here.
Right.
Yeah.
So to finish the Malice at the Palace, then you go back on the floor and another fan comes right at you, and you say in the doc that if there hadn't been beer on the floor and you could have gotten your feet underneath you, that you were slipping, you might have killed that guy.
Yeah, and Jermaine actually got him, but it was really good for him because I was slipping, so I was about to throw the punch, and then I felt like my foot
go out from under you.
So I had to just throw like a little soft leg because I didn't want to give too much, and I slipped, and this guy starts getting all over me. So, but that was, and he tried to sue us, which was kind of crazy. But it was like a movie in there. Probably better than Game of Thrones.
And then you go in the locker room and you had the infamous line to Steven Jackson. You think we're going to get in trouble for this? And our man Steven Jackson just went, are we going to get, no, we're all going to get, we're going to be lucky to have a job. Right? Okay? And then Jermaine is still upset with you for starting it, and he wants to come at you in the locker room.
Jermaine was mad at me, but then he got in a problem with Coach Carla. I think Jermaine was conflicted at that time. Jermaine's just one of the greatest teammates. He always would reach out to me. I never would take him up for lunch or dinner. I was just I wasn't secure in myself at that time. Nobody really knew what I was going through at that time. So I wasn't it seemed like I wasn't a good teammate. I played team basketball on the court.
Right. You did.
I executed everything.
Yep.
But just go to lunch, just call you on the phone, how you doing? I never was engaging like that.
Yeah, and Jermaine's quote I wrote down last night was, nobody understood Ron, and I don't think he wanted to be understood at that point.
I was trying to escape I was always trying to escape something, like some memory or some part of their life or what happened yesterday. I wasn't able to say, it'll be okay today.
Was it a specific incident that you were trying to escape, or was it a culmination of your upbringing that you were trying to escape?
You know, I had my baby early at 16. I planned my baby at 16. And then...
You planned it?
I planned my baby, yeah, my first. And I knew I always wanted to have kids.
Right.
And I knew I always wanted to be like with one woman at once, forever.
Right.
When I got to college, you know, I started experiencing other women.
Right.
I never been with nobody else. So then, right then and there, I had a bad relationship.
Right.
You know, and then that started spiraling. And then on top of my sister's is psychiatric ward, auntie psychiatric ward, brother psychiatric ward. Then my older brother went to jail, 10 years for drug trafficking. It was all crazy for me. And then I just resorted to, like, you know, alcohol, marijuana, staying in the hood. And I'm thinking all this is gonna solve problems.
Right.
It's making it worse.
Right.
And worse. And then when I was 21, I only had one nervous breakdown. I was in Chicago. I was on the highway driving to the game. I had nervous breakdown, 21 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Pull over?
Pull over.
Yeah.
Pull over. On my red Hummer, you know, just like screaming, just like, you know, it was crazy. And at that point, I'm like, I really need to get some help.
Normally, when there's a history, like my family has a history of cancer, and so I got treatment, you know, I got checked out early. Did you ever think that, okay, I got a brother, got a sister, got an aunt, I got this one that have mental illness? Did you ever think about going to get yourself checked before it reached that point?
Never did. When I was 13, I went to a social worker, so I was always introduced to it, but I never thought about just getting checked out and, you know, like I do now.
Right.
You know, or with my nephews, I would tell them to seek help, you know, early.
Right.
Yeah, never thought about that.
So the happy ending comes when Kobe Bryant, of all superstars, passes you the basketball in the closeout game against Boston, and you shoot and make the three, which was pretty gutsy for you to even take the shot, right? You had your man Lamar Odom from your childhood friend. He was open over there, but you stepped right into it. Was it on Pierce? I think it was.
It was.
It was on Paul Pierce, and you made it. It's the clinching three, and then on the court after the game, you thank your neighborhood and your psychiatrist, which is unprecedented for a stand-up interview at the end of the final game, right?
Man, I was just so happy. You know, and you wanted to give credit where credit's due. You know, people think their mom, you think God. And, you know, I remember game 6, we win. We was down 3-2. We win game 6. And I remember not talking to the media after the game. I go right to Equinox, the one we go to.
Right.
I was there by 10:10, and I get a lift in, because I didn't want to lift the next day because I didn't want to be tired. So I get the lift in. I'm done by 11. And I woke up the next morning, I had a lot of anxiety. And I remember in game 6 against Detroit, I get a technical foul, game tied. I get a technical foul. They make 2 free throws, they make another bucket, they up 4. They win by 4 and win the finals. Against Kobe, the year before that, I get an elbow, get ejected. You know, against Ginobili, against the Spurs.
You did,
Get ejected. And I'm like, this cannot happen again.
Right.
You know, and I called my psychologist from Houston. She comes up after shoot around, game 7, after shoot around. We talk about 12 o'clock, you know, and then I kind of felt better about that day. So I had to thank her.
I know it may have been hard in those moments to tell your story, but truly, it was pretty remarkable.
It is riveting.
To watch.
Thank you.
And everyone's going to want to make sure
you.
to check out Quiet Storm Friday night on Showtime. Metta, thanks again. Really appreciate it.
No mercy.
So how about this? The security guard that Ezekiel Elliott shoved at a Vegas music festival told KCBS in LA that he was not injured, but he wants a, quote, sincere apology from Zeke for the incident. The 19-year-old plays football at a community college in California, added, quote, I did get an apology from him. It wasn't a sincere apology. He didn't maintain eye contact. He didn't seem sincere at all. I have been waiting to hear from this guy.
What did I tell you, Skip? Skip, what did I tell you was gonna happen? Nothing saying sincere apology like a check. Man, it's amazing when they slide that across the table. Oh, he is so sorry. I told you what was gonna happen, Skip. Bayless, go ahead.
So that's your reaction? That's all you got?
I knew what was gonna happen. I knew it.
Well, is that what's happening? Are you sure about that?
Take a check?
Zeke gonna cut that young man a check.
What do you think?
This is more bad news for me, because what's going to happen is this is going to refocus even more attention on this incident, and it's going to further encourage the commissioner of the National Football League to look even harder at this incident, because his first reaction will be, Zeke showed no remorse on the scene. Well, the problem is, Mr. Commissioner, he was not in his right mind to start with.
That's the
Agreed.
point.
Right.
Can't
That's why,
apologize.
gentlemen, that's why he could not maintain eye contact. There was a situation that caused him to do that in the beginning.
Correct. And maybe you don't maintain eye contact because you don't want the security guard to see what's in your eyes or not in your eyes, right?
Skip, all he had to do, Zeke said, bro, I'm sorry, man. You know, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. You were just doing your job. I didn't mean to push you down. Hey, bro, sorry. Good looking out.
Or reach out after the fact.
You've had to do that.
Yeah, but dude tried to get me, Skip. he tried to get me, Skip, once he found out who I was and dropped out in the middle of the street.
You're not going to cut any checks. You're just going to charm them to death.
No,
right?
no, Skip.
Okay.
Look, when you're wrong, Skip, just, a
I know,
sincere
I
apology.
got
Just
it.
look at it. And that's still not to say that once he realized who it was, like, oh, that's Zeke. But the man kept you out of jail, Skip.
The good news was he was a fan to start with.
Yes.
Or you would have been, you already handcuffed.
Yes.
You're going to jail.
Yes.
You could have been charged.
Yes.
If he presses, you're charged, right?
And he should have go ahead and once he got him out them cuffs, he should have called his agent.
Yep.
Hey, send me a check for $50,000.
I know. The bad news is this guy's still a fan, and now he's a wronged fan, a jilted fan.
Yeah, but nothing
Right.
says I'm sorry like a check.
What if he sends him one? Then what if he
No,
wants
just
more?
one.
Like,
No, just one. Just send him a check.
Then you sign some
No, yeah.
disclosure, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Did you see the largest divorce settlement? Jeff Bezos. What's the perfect way, Skip? I'm sorry. It was a $36 million check.
So Shannon,
Billion,
the
man.
big bet that we have on
Yeah.
Cowboys missing the playoffs, you're off to a good start.
Great start.
Because to me, this is just cinching the
Hey.
fact he is going to miss game one.
I want three cases on it.
Do you?
Yeah.
You got three. Because the first game is against Eli and company.
Well, he might get two.
Or maybe
though.
it's Daniel Jones. and
Might
company.
get
At
I
this
don't know.
point.
He might get 2 games.
Yeah. He will get 2 and it will get reduced to 1. I will bet you. Because this isn't quite as egregious as the other accusations.
My man said, I got an apology, but it wasn't sincere.
we need Zeke to just stay inside for a bit. Just stay away. Just be careful right now. Skip can't handle it. We don't want any more bad news for the guy. How about this, though? Last night, we may have had the worst first pitch ever. I apologize already for this one. We'll show you next.
No mercy.
For our final topic of the day, this might be the worst first pitch of all time. A White Sox employee of the month did this yesterday, actually hitting the photographer a few feet away. There's only one other first pitch that might be worse, and that's 50 Cent's horrible first pitch back in 2014. Shannon, which is worse?
Skip this one. If you gave her a baseball and said, I want you to hit that guy, she probably couldn't do it. She's lined up perfectly, and how she managed to hit the guy directly in the is unbeknownst to me, Skip. 50 was bad, but I think she'd have to work. She's got to work.
Okay,
for it.
now to
good.
give her a break, she was the employee of the month working for the White Sox, so she's sort of thrust into this.
Yes.
And I don't know that she'd ever tried to throw a baseball. I don't know. But the more I watched it last night, the harder I laughed because it's impossibly bad. Because how do you hit the photographer who's the cameraman's
guy.
right there.
Yeah.
He's just to your left.
Yeah.
And she just nails him. She didn't throw very hard,
No.
and he was okay.
Yeah, the ball wasn't going to get to the plate anyway.
Yeah.
Unless, it rolls to the plate.
But surely 50 Cent had thrown something in his life, thrown something.
Yeah.
Think maybe the pressure of it?
Yeah, maybe a dime bag or something. That was the only
Maybe.
thing 50 Cent
Maybe.
was been throwing.
I would be practicing.
That was the worst one.
That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.